March really is one of the best months in all of sports because there's something going on pretty much in all four major sports, no matter what you're into. You know why we're here, though. We're going to spend a whole lot of time on the Jets in particular. We're going to talk a little bit more about the infamous wide receiver position. We've done some wide receiver talk before. This time, we're going even deeper. We got trivia, we got 3 and out, all that, and a whole lot more. It's Wednesday night. You know what's up. We live. Well, welcome everybody to New York Sports WickerMedia on WA2K99. Thank you as always for joining me on an always happening hump day. And there's a lot happening here, so let's get into talk about some people whose names start with the letter H, because I use a lot of H's right there. First, let's say a couple quick hellos to people in the chat. The great Jets Mess channel member, my supporter, the king of the emojis. He's got the wheel emoji. He's got the Jets emoji. He has got the sought-after wicker chair emoji. Yes, he does. And we have a very special guest who stopped by, the great Rivka. Rivka Bort from Jets X, one of the best Jets analysts there is out there. Rivka, I did respond. Thank you very much for reaching out, my friend. Yeah, definitely. We've got Hank G. Yeah, now this is the H crew. We've got Hank and we've got Harlan, the H twins, I guess it would be. Good to see you, boys. I'm glad that you're here. I don't know who Proud New York Jets fan is. I have never heard of this particular individual. This is a guy who can't pass the bar anymore, except it's the bar in the gym, based off what I've seen. But yeah, he's taking gym selfies. Nick Shine, the great Nick Shine, working on his CDL down not too far from where I am right now in Richmond, Virginia. Nick, keep doing it, as I know only you can. NY Flight Jets Talk. What's up? Good to see you here. Oh, yeah, thanks for helping me take off on this show tonight. You're going to ensure that this flight is going to be a smooth ride. And, man, people just keep pouring in tonight. What's up here? Wild Wave. Good to see you, man. I'm glad that you're here. All right, David D. Sorry about your Islanders. I tried, man. I tried to be fair and objective, and I feel like I was. But I am very glad that you're here. Nathan Colgrove. Yeah, I remember Nathan from some of the old shows I used to guest on back in the day. Nathan, I am glad that you're here. And my fellow Virginia Jets fan, good friend of mine, your friend and his own, Johnny Jimenez. Good to see you there. I'm glad he was able to take some time from getting intimate with the wife to join us tonight. We've got Snowball here, too. Good to see you here, my friend. All right. Man, what an awesome turnout this is. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. They moved us into a new office. It's not really an office. It's a freaking sardine can. I have been dealing with throat issues for the last week. Okay? Like, I've got coughing spells that have been going on. I'm not sick. I don't have a cold or anything like that. But sometimes swallowing is a challenge, and I deal with coughing. So now and then I may have to mute the mic for a second. But I've got a little Ricola just in case it does come to that. But just a heads up. All right, guys. So let's do what we always do. We're going to start tonight, before we get into the football, a little bit of what I call 3 and out. So let's talk about what's going on in the world of sports. And by the way, I got a pretty goofy Mets-related story coming up you may not have heard of. If you're if you hate the Mets, like I know one or two people in the chat do, you're going to love this one in particular. But the Knicks just wrapped up a 145-101. Dane, I made sure to use swallow, but in a certain context, so certain people would not take it into the gutter. Reality is reality. Yeah, I wouldn't know it, I wouldn't know about it, but some would. Knicks dominate the Toronto Raptors north of the border, 145 to 101. This was so good. The Knicks had 80 points at halftime. I remember growing up, that was a whole game worth. Wow. Deuce McBride with 29 points, 9 of 14 from three. Jalen Brunson scored 26 points in only 29 minutes. And welcome back, Mitchell Robinson, 12 minutes, 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 blocks. But even better if you're a Knicks fan, both Cleveland and Orlando lost. Cleveland was in third, Orlando was in fifth, Knicks right in the middle. The Knicks have now moved ahead of Cleveland and are back in the third seed in the Eastern Conference, which is a big deal. And Cleveland lost to the freaking Charlotte Hornets. Come on, there are teams in the Sweet 16 that could beat the Charlotte Hornets, at least 5 or 6 of them. My goodness. But the Knicks head to San Antonio for Good Friday and host Oklahoma City on Easter Sunday night. You know, Nick, I try to have that kind of a chat. I want it to be open. I want it to be supportive. I mean, disagreements are one thing, but fighting is another. And, hey, I admit that I can get, back in my day, I could get goaded in a little bit. But, yeah, it's just trying to make sure that everybody gets a chance to be heard. And that's pretty much what it's all about, dude. All right, then giving the shout-out to Harlan Abraham. All right, a little bit on hockey. Wow, what a game that was last night. The Rangers beating the Flyers 6-5 in overtime. The Rangers are the first team in the NHL to clinch a playoff spot and hit 100 points. This game just kept building and building. It started off quiet, started off slow. No goals in the first period. Ultimately, there were 7 in the third period alone. Adam Fox with the game winner early in overtime. The wrist shot eludes the goalie. And also the Penguins defeat Carolina. Rangers are now 3 points up on the Hurricanes with 10 games left to go and are in the driver's seat to clinch that Metropolitan Division. I will actually be in the Raleigh area this weekend for Easter. I will definitely be wearing Rangers gear. I'm still convinced there are only about 25,000 Hurricane fans down there, and they go to every game. I'm just saying. But Rangers are at Colorado tomorrow, being down 3 of their top defensemen. That's not going to be an easy game. And the Devils last night with a good win, beating the Maple Leafs 6-3. They're 5 points out of a wild card with 9 games left to go. Still a long shot, but it is possible. And tomorrow starts baseball, the real baseball season, not this BS in South Korea. None of that stuff that nobody paid attention to, that was there just to, try to grow the game or whatever. No. Baseball starts tomorrow, unless you're a Mets, Brewers, Phillies, or Braves fan, because they have been rained out to Friday. But I'll spend just 1 minute here on the Yankees and on the Mets. I actually did a whole MLB preview. I uploaded that tonight. So if you want to get my thoughts on baseball, you can go ahead and check that out after the show. But I think with the Yankees, it's a 2-horse race between them and Baltimore. Losing Garrett Cole hurts. And if Cole wasn't hurt, I would say the Yankees would definitely win this division. I'd put them at 94, 95 wins. I really would. I think Marcus Stroman will be a nightmare. Ask anybody who's ever messaged him on Twitter. They will let you know. I don't like Carlos Rodon. I never have. He is as injury prone as it gets. And I don't know about the Yankees bullpen. Of course, the lineup is fantastic. Juan Soto will be a great Yankee for 1 year, I believe. We have a brand new member, and it's the great Buffalo Jets fan. Welcome to the club. Well, to the Buffalo Club, you might say. Welcome aboard, my friend. I am so glad that you are part of it. And I'm going to have to change that graphic at the end of my live streams when I thank every member of the channel. So I get to add a name today. And that is a very good feeling. Hank G, NC State's still alive. I'm going to have to leave work early on Friday. NC State plays Marquette about, 7:15 at night. So I may have to leave work an hour early because I got about a 3.5-hour drive to Raleigh, because it'd be pretty fun to be able to watch that game with some NC State fans. I've never done that before, so not that they would know who I am, but maybe I'll show up in a Rangers jersey, but I'll be like rooting for the Wolfpack. It'd be kind of like a messed up thing, wouldn't it? GBH is here too. Good to see you here. Yeah, it's a bummer, but that's the risk you take with baseball. But yeah, that's the good thing about having that Friday off, because you cannot predict the weather. I think the last 5 years, every single Mets opening day has been postponed, whether it was COVID related, whether it was weather related. The streak goes on. Hey, please, Kevin uses dollar bills for matches. Are you kidding me? All right, and and one more thing with the Yankees. I don't know. At the end of the day, we got to keep one thing in mind. If you're a Yankees fan, don't get too hung up on the division because we've seen over the last few years it's not really about winning the division because the bye has not proved to be beneficial for those who get it. But I think it's going to be a really fun race with the Yankees and the Orioles. I think they win 89 games and get the top wild card spot in the American League. As far as the Mets go, I'll tell you what I do like. Deep bullpen, much deeper than last year. I like the lineup. JD Martinez was a much needed addition. The bench doesn't excite me at all. The starting rotation, they've got a decent floor, but a very, very low ceiling. Don't be surprised if a Christian Scott or a Mike Vassell gets called up about halfway through the year. We'll see what Carlos Mendoza does as a manager. I'm thinking the Mets are going to win about 84 games. I think they're going to miss the playoffs by a couple games. Because, in the National League, you've got 3 or 4 teams I think are head and shoulders above the others. Then you got about another 5 or 6 that are going to compete for 2 wild cards. I think the Mets are in that mix. I just don't think they have enough pitching to do it. But I have to give you a little side story. Then we're going to get into the football. So this is the headline in the New York Post. A former Mets pitcher was arrested last week for a drunk driving incident that occurred 24 hours after being sworn in as a Nevada police officer. Yeah. So this guy becomes a cop. 24 hours later, he gets a DUI and he gets his ass fired. So it was Chasen Bradford, 34 years old. He spent 1 year with the Mets in 2017. So he was still considered a probationary officer with the Henderson Police Department, and he's charged with driving under the influence. He was seen, quote, swerving all over the road and hitting medians and driving up on a curve, and he was immediately fired. Unbelievable. Now, he did also pitch for the Braves, so from here on in, I choose to think of him as a former Atlanta Brave. So that'll make me feel a little bit better tonight. All right, well, that's it for 3 and Out. So we know what that means. It is time for the main event. So say it with me and say it loud. It is time to talk a little football right now. And let's talk about one thing that I think is we got to keep in mind is really going to change the game next year. Literally, I'm actually going to make this thing full screen. Close enough to full screen. So, and it's this new kickoff. And it's interesting how the XFL has continued to impact the NFL, whether it was Skycam, whether it was players being mic'd up. And now it's really now the kickoff because the XFL had something kind of similar to this. Now, the thing with this is, and I think this is interesting, did you know only 23% of kickoffs were returned last year, and there were only 4 kickoff returns for touchdowns? So the idea of this is to add a little bit of life back into special teams, but of course the NFL is going to tell us it's all about player safety first. Believe that if you want to. We've seen the only thing they really care about is the next dollar. That's why you've got one playoff game on Amazon and one playoff game on Peacock. So spare me with caring about people. All they care about is the money. So I'm going to try to break this down for you. So the kickoff will still be from the 35-yard line. Now, the difference is the kicker's teammates will not be beside him. So when Greg Zuerlein's out there with the opening kickoff next season in London or wherever the hell they have the game, his teammates will all be on the receiving team's 40-yard line. So if you see the blue X's right there, that's 10 blue X's. So we'll take that as being the 10 Jets. Now, with the return team, at least 9 members have to be in what's called the setup zone, which is that yellow block down there. And that's going to be between the 30 and 35-yard line. So all these players are going to be 5 to 10 yards apart. And either 1 or 2 returners can line up in what's called the landing zone. And that's the green space between the goal line and the 20. Now, here are the interesting rules. No one other than the kicker and returners can move until the ball either hits the ground or hits a player inside the landing zone. So those 19 or whatever it is guys have to stay still until the returner touches the ball or the ball hits the turf. All right, so it's a very close range for contact. The point is to reduce the collisions that have a high, where the players are building up momentum when they're building up speed. Now, no fair catches will be allowed. That is going to be gone. Now, if the ball doesn't make it to the 20-yard line, here's where it gets crazy. If the ball doesn't make it to the 20-yard line on the kick, the offense will start the drive at their own 40-yard line. So it's essentially the same thing as if they had kicked the ball out of bounds. Now, if the ball makes it to the end zone, okay, if it's kicked in the end zone and lands in the end zone, they start at the 30. That's a touchback. But here's the other catch. If the ball lands in the landing zone and then rolls into the end zone, see the difference there? Landing zone, then end zone, you get it at the 20. So there's different scenarios when you can get the ball on the 40, the 30, or the 20, or you can opt to return it. That's kind of what's going on. So this, to me, is going to really affect the Jets in a couple of ways because Greg Zuerlein is excellent at touchback kicks. He had a touchback on 90% of his kickoffs last year, and that was the second highest rate among all kickers. The Jets, you know how many kickoff returns the Jets had to defend last year? 8. 8. That was the third fewest in the NFL. So it was one kickoff return every 2 games. Now, granted, the Jets weren't scoring a whole heck of a lot, so there really weren't many opportunities to do a kickoff. You know what I'm talking about? But the Jets have been excellent at kickoff coverage. They've been in the top 5 in each of the last 3 years in yards allowed per return. Credit to Brant Boyer, credit to Justin Hardy, Ashton Davis, and all those guys on the team. That's one reason I'm very glad Brant Boyer just continues to last as a coach on this team. He's like Teflon. He's like Benoit Allaire, the goalie coach of the Rangers. I mean, you name the guy, but this guy survives regimes. So much respect to Brant Boyer. Now, all right, so that's kind of what's going on there with the kickoff. I hope that makes a little bit more sense. But basically, the options are return the ball, you start on the 20, the 30, or the 40. But the kickers are going to have to figure out how to pop it up and kind of land the ball like in that goal line to 5-yard line range. It's going to be very interesting. All right, so GBH with a very good question. More of a reason to get Hardy or Ashton back, in your opinion? I think we got to bring one of them back. And at this point, I'd probably go with Ashton Davis. As much as I like Justin Hardy, I've been a supporter of his amongst criticism from a lot of Jet fans. I think that's one reason the Jets signed Isaiah Oliver, was to sort of replace that, because Oliver is capable of playing special teams quite a bit. And, I think Ashton Davis was a very, very good gunner. Hardy did miss some time. Of course, I would like to have him back. I don't expect they're going to bring everybody back. But what's interesting? Justin Hardy it was like the second day of free agency, said this is the time when everybody forgets that special teams wins and loses you games. Justin, with all due respect, the NFL has been taking this out of the game forever. Kickers can win a game, but returners maybe win 2-3 games a year. That's really about it. I mean, I don't know if they're going to win games, but they could cost you a close game. But come on, I sincerely hope Justin Hardy was not expecting a contract the first week of free agency. I mean, come on. Yep, Johnny, no more fair catches on kickoffs. Yep, you will not see that ever again. And again, we'll see how they adjust this after this year. But I'm glad that they're, because let's think about it. Some of the best Jets teams ever, had a lot to do with their special teams. I mean, all the great returners we've had, Chad Morton, Leon Washington, Justin Miller, Joe McKnight, Brad Smith, the names go on and on. So maybe now you have an opportunity to take advantage of that again. Not that Mike Westhoff's here anymore, but Boyer is still very, very good. In fact, Westhoff actually recruited Brant Boyer, I think, at one time to play for him. More of a reason to not overuse Xavier Gipson on offense. He'll be important in the kick return game. I like the idea. You can use Gibson for a couple plays a game, but at the end of the day, Gibson to me was never going to be in the top 4 receivers on this team unless he really, really steps up. He beat out McCole Hardman, but come on, there's people in this chat that could have beat out McCole Hardman. Not really, but Gibson could have his role, but no, you can't count on him to do that much. I still think the Jets are going to use a pick in the first 2 days on a wide receiver, and we're going to get to that a little bit later. Yep, teaser, I know. Johnny Jimenez, I'm guessing Braxton Berrios will retire. No. I think he might stick around for a little bit. I mean, not that he's had a big role in Miami, but I think Berrios will stick around a little bit. Dane will take Hardy back for under $2 million. Yeah, I think that's only fair. Dane, all right. Go outside, run the 40-yard dash, time it, and post your time later. We'll see if you come back. The chat is greater than Hardman. That is very, very true. All right, one other 2 pieces of news before we get into the wide receivers. So the NFL will have 2 Christmas games this year. Christmas is on a Wednesday. And so the teams that are playing on the Wednesday will play on a Saturday the week before. Let's see what network those games are on, if they're on NBC or if they're hidden behind a paywall. And the Jets did sign Jalen. Hey, no Jadeveon Clowney. We couldn't get no Shaq Barrett, but hey, the Jets kept Jalen Holmes. for some depth on the edge rush. So, yeah, all good. I mean, hey, Holmes did have 1 sack last year. Hey, this could be Tanzel Smart Part 2. Sign him, release him, practice squad, sign him, release, practice squad, repeat. I think that's going to be the Jalen Holmes role, is basically creating the roster spot or, doing that sort of a thing. Braxton called for a lot of fair catches. He reminds me of Jeremy Curley a little bit. You remember Jeremy Curley would call for fair punts all the freaking time? And it was frustrating back then because we saw the potential of the kick return and what the impact they were able to make. So we didn't see the same thing from the punt return. I think it frustrated us that much more as Jets fans. But yeah, you're definitely right about Berrios. That would be non-news, yes. Connor, yeah, the talk about the alleged fight or shouting match with Saleh and Woody Johnson, not true. Connor Hughes basically confirmed it. So, yeah, to me, it is not news at all. It's just, please. Yeah, not caring about that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the wide receiver group. Now, on an earlier show, what we did was I ranked the top 5 receivers in the draft, and I talked about some other sort of mid-round receivers I felt the Jets could make. So there was a gap there because we didn't really talk about the second-round receivers as much. And also I felt we might as well look at some sleepers because wide receiver is, in my opinion, and many other people's opinion as well, the deepest position in this draft. You can get a good quality receiver in just about any round. Pretty much down to the 5th, 6th round, you could do it here. All right, so I figured let's get to know some of these wide receivers better. And then after that, what I do have tonight is a ranking of all the receivers that we have talked about on this show, on the channel. And I've got them ranked 1st round, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th round and below. All right, so I'm going to show you my wide receiver rankings tonight. You might agree with them. You might think I'm nuts, and I am nuts because I'm a Jets fan. What else could I be at this point in my life? But I'm just going to give you my opinion. All right, so let's talk about 13 more wide receivers the Jets may target in the draft come April. It's only a month away, that draft. And I got to tell you guys, the fact that we do the show on a Wednesday, the night before the draft, I'm really excited. I am really excited to do a show the night before the draft. I'm pumped up for it. All right, so I've got these ranked from kind of like lowest ranked to highest ranked, but there's some other guys who are thought of higher than this that I didn't even factor in. But these are all players that I like. Johnny Anthony Gold, you're going to have to wait on that. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. But one guy that I really like is Ryan Flournoy from Southeast Missouri State. I have talked about him on the show before. He is 6'2", 202 pounds. In 2023, put up 57 catches for 839 yards and 6 touchdowns. Now, he was not even ranked out of high school. You hear 4-star recruit, 3-star recruit, whatever star recruit. He didn't have a star. Okay? He didn't have any of that. Quick hello to the great Scott Foster. Yes, I am here for your hump day entertainment to get you through the west of the week. The west of the week, yes. Whether you're west or east, I'm here to help get you through the week for sure. And you guys do the same for me. But Flournoy, he is really rising up the draft boards. He was not even projected to be drafted about a couple months ago. But his RAS score, that relative athletic score that we know the Jets love, is 9.8. He's got enormous hands, the biggest of any receiver in this draft class. He runs a full route tree, so you could pretty much plug him in. He could do whatever you want him to do. He is a deep threat. He can get deep. And blocking is very good, and people love his work ethic. At the Senior Bowl, he was always the first to show up, the last to leave. He is just the kind of player you want around him for morale because he's going to work as hard as he can. He is going to get the most out of whatever God-given ability he has. Now, as far as the negatives, why is he ranked as low as he is? Well, he's a little slow getting off the line of scrimmage. That's an issue. And when he gets into those intermediate breaks, the footwork is a little clunky. It's not overly smooth. So he also does not have the suddenness to create separation. That is a bit of an issue. Right now, I would project him to go late in the 6th round, maybe in the 7th round. But if he's still around, because we know the Jets have those late 7th round picks, we got to think of some players that they can get there. If Ryan Flournoy makes it all the way down there, I want the Jets to pounce on him. I really do. Number 12, I'm going to talk about Cornelius Johnson from the Michigan Wolverines. Now, Cornelius Johnson, 6'3", 208 pounds. He is 24 years old, so he is not a young buck. Okay? But this year he had 47 catches, 604 yards, 1 touchdown. Guys, the traits are there with this guy. He is a specimen. Elite explosiveness, great long stride speed down the field. He gets down the field so smoothly. He knows how to track the football going downfield, so he can really help you in that vertical game. He knows how to rise and extend his arms vertically, but he also has good short area twitch, in the short game, and he's built very nicely. Lower body mass, lean upper body. He's very well proportioned. I guess that's something people really look at. And he's a very good blocker. He really puts a lot of effort into run blocking. We know the Jets like that. His RAS score, through the roof, 9.89. That is almost as good as it gets. The negatives on him, he could be prone to some drops in space, or with contact upcoming, he may take his eye off the ball. Sometimes, and this bothers me, he does catch the ball against his body. He's a little bit of a cradler. So you gotta wonder about that. And sometimes he can have these lapses in timing when he's tracking deep passes. As far as his draft projection goes, I think late 6th, early 7th round. I don't think he's going to get past the first few picks in the 7th. And I think he most likely somewhere in the 6th for Cornelius Johnson. Number 11 on my list is going to be Jordan Whittington from the University of Texas. I can assure you, you'll be seeing a lot of the burnt orange on this list, a lot more. Jordan Whittington, 6'1", 205 pounds, in 2023, 42 catches, 505 yards, and 1 touchdown. He is very position versatile. He's taken snaps at running back, outside receiver, in the slot. He could do a whole lot. Now, Whittington will probably be best in the slot role, doing jet motion handoffs, bubble screens. That's what you really want him to do. Okay? He wins leverage battles very well against defensive backs. It's not so much about the speed with him. He knows how to use his legs and how to use his body to create separation. Very smart player. Got really good football smarts. And he knows how to create that separation to make himself a reliable target in the middle of the field. He's got strong hands. He is willing to catch the ball in traffic. What he lacks is speed to separate vertically. And because of that, most of his catches tend to be in traffic. He did deal with some injuries early on in his career in Texas. And I'm thinking Jordan Whittington will go in the 6th round. All right, let's go to number 10, and it is Jaquan Jackson from Tulane University. Yes, one of the men that Michael Pratt threw the football to, right? So Jaquan Jackson is only 5'9", 188 pounds, by far the smallest receiver on this list. And in 2023, had 26 catches, 439 yards, and 4 touchdowns. His best trait is his short area quickness. He has great vision, amazing acceleration, and he has the ability to run through arm tackles. Super, super slippery. All you need to do is get the ball to him in the short areas of the field. He can take the ball upfield and turn those plays into explosive ones. He'll turn, a loss of 5 into a 10 or 15-yard play. And also, you have some really good return ability with him as well. We just talked about the special teams. Jaquan Jackson has some very good return experience in Tulane as well. What worries me, the drops are an issue. Contested catches are going to be an issue, and that has a lot to do with the size. When you're only 5'9", it can be a little tough to make those catches in traffic. You just wish he was 2 or 3 inches taller. But he could still definitely carve out a role in the NFL in the slot, as a gadget player, and as a weapon on special teams. I think Jaquan Jackson goes in the 5th round. Probably mid to late 5th round sounds about right for him. Number 9. Okay, now this is a player I didn't really know too much about before doing the research, but the compliments of one of the best wide receivers of our generation caught my attention. And it's Jalen Coker from Holy Cross. Did anybody think Holy Cross would make an appearance on this list? Well, Jalen Coker is 6'1", 218 pounds. In 2023, had 59 catches for 1,035 yards and 15 touchdowns. That's production. Excellent, excellent route runner. He is so good of a route runner that Steve Smith Sr., most notably of the Panthers and the Ravens, has called him the best route runner in this class. Not Marvin Harrison, not Malik Neighbors, not Rome Odunze. He says that Jalen Coker is the best route runner in the whole class. And that is saying a lot. That is saying a lot. But Coker has very quick feet, elite balance, great vertical leap. He's got about as good a vertical leap as any wide receiver that you will find. He can line up anywhere on the field, super reliable hands. He will not drop the ball, tracks the ball downfield very, very well. And his catch radius and hand strength. Now, granted, he was playing in the Patriot League, so he didn't go against the toughest competition of all time. But his hand strength and catch radius, that's why he was able to dominate the way that he was. His RAS score is 9.46. Now, he has to prove that he can get off the line of scrimmage against NFL quarterbacks. Okay? His deep speed is pretty average. He is not an all-out burner, and that's why he's projected to go somewhere in the 5th round. Harlan Abraham. Marv Hubbard went to Holy Cross as well. Actually, one of my high school basketball teammates went to Holy Cross and got to the NCAA tournament. Yeah. Well, I went to high school at St. Joe's in Metuchen, New Jersey. Jay Williams. I had class with him. Jay Williams from ESPN, basketball analyst. If you watch ESPN basketball, you know who Jay Williams is. Yeah, he and I had a couple classes together. But another guy was named Brian Wilson, not the Beach Boy, but Brian Wilson was his teammate. He was the second guy on the team, and he went over to Holy Cross and had a good career. God has helped get the team to the NCAAs. So that's what I think of when I think of Holy Cross is Brian Wilson. All right, so that is Jalen Coker. So so I do like him. Number 8. Now we're going to get into some players that a whole lot. Scott Foster with a very, very good point. You know what that means, right? I also can't talk about an offensive line or a defensive line. I can't do any of that. Oh my God. Number 8 is, this might surprise a few people, Luke McCaffrey. All right, on this list, I've got him as my number 8 receiver. Now, and again, just want to, for those who may be joining us, this is not my top 12 wide receiver list. This is just talking about a few sleepers and some guys in the 2nd round. After we're all done, I'm going to give you an overall ranking of these wide receivers. Okay. So Luke McCaffrey, 6'2", 195 pounds, 2023, had 71 catches for 992 yards and 13 touchdowns. He's very, very raw. The thing with Luke McCaffrey, he's only been a receiver for 2 years. Before that, he was a quarterback. So he still has a lot to learn. This is not a player you can really count on to contribute immediately in a major role. All right, so we have to keep that in mind. So if you're drafting McCaffrey, that's fine, but you better draft another one before him if you're the Jets. Now, McCaffrey, here's what he's good at. He's very, very smart. He's shifty. He knows how to get himself open for the quarterback, and he can accelerate into top speed fairly quickly. He's very tough. He's very, very tough. He makes catches across the middle of the field, and he can hold onto the ball after collisions. So I like that. Now, the inexperience does bother me, but he does have some issues releasing, getting clean against press coverage. That is a bit of an issue for him, and his movement is more one speed. It's not very sudden and shifty like you would see from his brother Christian. So I think Christian McCaffrey is going to go, or Luke McCaffrey is going to go in the 4th round. Still a very good pick, but again, this class is just so deep. Number 7, let's go on. Has McCaffrey returned kicks? Not to my knowledge. I don't. Yeah, the clips I watched of him, I never saw him returning. I did not see that. Yeah, again, I got no issue with him being drafted, but again, if you're going to draft him, you better have another receiver in mind, or you better have a top 3 to 4 ready to go already. Yeah, but I haven't seen McCaffrey return. Number 7 is Jamari Thrash, and I'm going to do this NFL prime time style, like in the old days. Jamari Thrash from Louisville. I always like Chris Berman and Tom Jackson, so I had to do that. All right, Jamari Thrash, 6'1", 185, 2023, 63 catches, 858 yards, 6 touchdowns. This is a yak machine right here. 40% of his yards come after the catch. Great lateral agility, runs routes very, very well. He can play inside, he can play outside for you. He doesn't have a lot of experience in the slot now, but this may be where he is best suited to play. So we may have to learn that a little bit. Dano talks about him being skinny. That is very right. At 6'1", 185, he is. He actually, I heard at the at Senior Bowl, he walked by a pool table when he got chalked up. Anyway, he's very, very good at making catches in traffic, and he forces a lot of missed tackles. He has forced 33 missed tackles in 2 years. That's pretty good. Now, the slight frame worries you. His catch radius is limited. He does not have very long arms. Becton, Nagel, and Harlan, let's not forget Calvin Pryor. Too soon? Okay. But we did get Bilal. I think we got Bilal Powell from there as well. Ooh, Throat's hanging in there, guys. It's hanging in there. It's not great, but it's okay. All right. So Jamari Thrash, bit of a drop issue. 8 drops in 2023. This bothers me too. The contested catch rate. He only caught 15% of the contested catch opportunities that he had this year. So he isn't good at everything, but he is very good at certain things. So you have to know how to use him. This is going to be one of those scheme-specific weapons. All right? The offensive coaching staff has to know how to use him to maximize his ability. So that's my thoughts on Jamari Thrash. Now, number 6, let's keep going. Speaking of bloodlines, as I acknowledge, do a little acknowledging there. Brendan Rice from USC. I'm sure a few people were waiting for me to bring him up. Brendan Rice, 6'3", 208 pounds, of course, son of Jerry Rice. In my mind, maybe the greatest football player of all time, not just the best wide receiver. In 2023, 45 catches, 791 yards, 12 touchdowns. And he played a definitive role in making Caleb Williams, who's like wearing a little too much rouge nowadays, the expected number 1 draft pick. Okay? He has the prototypical size and athleticism for that outside receiver. He's a very good receiver after the catch, tracks the ball super, super well, super, super smart in that way, breaks tackles, and he scores touchdowns like crazy. He brings in a touchdown every 5.2 catches for the course of his college career. Pretty impressive. Now, what he doesn't really have is quick feet. He can struggle to make defenders miss in the open field, and contested catches have been an issue for him as well. As far as the projection goes for him, I'm going to say late 3rd, maybe 4th round. I don't know if he's going to get to the Jets with their 4th round pick, but that'd be pretty awesome if he did. Number 5, we're going to go to Troy Franklin from the University of Oregon, 6'3", 185 pounds. Very productive this year. 81 catches, 1,383 yards, and 14 touchdowns. The bottom line with Troy Franklin, I see him being either great or very disappointing. I don't see any in between with this guy. He has fantastic speed. Sunburst at the line of scrimmage. He separates very well. Strong hands, a wide catch radius. He can play inside. He can play outside. Great fundamentals. Great player to take the top off of a defense. Here's the problems. I noticed I put several. His route running, it needs some refining. He has to take extra steps to really change his direction. He's not going to change on a dime. Okay? Major drop issues. He had a 10% drop rate. Even Alan Lazard is like, damn, boy, you got to put some stickum on your hands or something. That made Alan Lazard blush. It was so bad. And he's a bit of a body catcher too. He doesn't always catch the ball with his hands. He struggles sometimes to locate deep targets, and he has a very lean frame, as you could tell, at 6'3", 185. He's got to improve against press coverage. But the upside is so good that I think he's going to go in the 3rd round. Dato, what are you doing? Hit the like button. Yes, please. Guys, we might spin the wheel tonight. I don't know. But I'm feeling a little wheelie tonight. Johnny said, give me Xavier Leggett or Gould, or is it Gould or Gold? I always think Gold because of Robbie Gould. But yeah, Xavier Leggett, I talked about him on the preview show, and yes, I'm a big Xavier Leggett fan. Absolutely. I don't think the Jets, they're not going to be in a position to draft him unless they trade. But yes, I am definitely a Leggett fan. All right. So that is number 5. Let's go to number 4. It is Ricky Pearsall. This is a favorite of a lot of people right now. A lot of people like Pearsall. Now, he's 6'1", 190 pounds. This year, 65 catches, 965 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Went to the Senior Bowl. This looks like a slot receiver. Now, he gets great release off the line of scrimmage, very crafty route runner, good, reliable hands. He doesn't drop the ball, never has had more than 2 drops in a single season. That's pretty impressive. He can plant his feet very well, changes direction super fast, no wasted movement. That's one of the things that separates him from some of the other receivers we've talked about today. Now, 66% of his yards this year in 2023 was against zone coverage. So that's something to keep in mind. I wonder if he has the strength to go against NFL corners, especially in press coverage. He doesn't really give you that elite burner acceleration downfield that you want to have. And the other thing I don't like, he doesn't break tackles very well. He has broken only 15 tackles on 165 career catches. All right. So there is some room to improve for Pearsall, but definitely a very good project. I see him going late second round at the earliest, but I think he's really more of a third round grade. Number 3, he is worthy indeed. Xavier Worthy from the University of Texas, 6'0", 165 pounds. You might know the name if you were paying attention to the combine. You know what he's all about. Ran a 40-yard dash in just 4.21 seconds, setting a new record in 2023. 75 catches, 1,014 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 5 drops. So here's the thing. We know he has straight line speed. We know he can separate. We know he can change direction very, very well. He can apply the brakes. He can make very fast lateral moves. He's very twitchy at the line of scrimmage. Like, he doesn't have to run straight ahead to get separation. And that's something that I really, really like. Okay, so he knows how to get open, and he's not a one-trick pony where he has to go vertical to do it. So that is something that's very good about him. Here's what I don't like. Contested catches, 5 for 21 on contested catch opportunities. With his size, only 100. My God, I weigh 20 pounds more than this guy does. Are you kidding me? I can't run quite that fast, but yeah. He doesn't really have the play strength to fight through contact at this point. I think he could put a little bit of weight on and still be fast enough. And, he's not going to break a lot of tackles. He's not much of a blocker. His hands are getting better, though. He's had drop issues, but he's really improved his drop rate this year. So that's something that I'm encouraged about. So I've got Xavier Worthy as a second round grade. I think he's going second round. All right, I've got 2 more, and then we're going to get into the rankings. I'm going to take a little Ricola here, so I'm going to need it now. Number 2, we stay at the University of Texas, and we're talking about Adonai, a.k.a. A.D. Mitchell. So A.D. Mitchell, 6'3", 205 pounds. In 2023, had 55 catches, 845 yards, 11 touchdowns. His RAS, guys, 999. It was a perfect score, okay? So that's going to get the Jets' attention. He has that ideal frame, above average measurables, his height, his wingspan, all of it. Now, he tends to be his most effective against off coverage. He is very good at accelerating off the line of scrimmage, and he knows how to set a defender up. He knows how to juke them. He knows how to fool them, okay? Johnny might be left disappointed at this rate. But Mitchell has amazing hands. 1 drop in 2023, has great play strength, great leverage IQ, and here's the thing. His blocking is amazing. He may be the best blocking wide receiver in this draft. So if that's something that matters to you, Mitchell might be a guy you will really, really like. Now, he struggles a little bit against press coverage as well. And if you're a defender who's very sound in your technique, you can disrupt Mitchell at the line of scrimmage, and that disrupts his route timing. Okay, Harlan, I know, but if the Jets do trade back, hypothetically, because people are talking about it, so it could happen, you never know. But we got to be prepared. So he's a little inconsistent catching in traffic. It's very important for him to separate to be at his most productive. He's had a few injury issues, like with his ankle, that took a while for him to recover from. It was a high sprain of an ankle, and he was out about 8-9 weeks, something like that. And so you wonder a little bit about his durability there. But he is definitely going to go second round. I would say early second round, most likely. Okay, and there's one more receiver who we didn't talk about last time who would be number 1 on this list, and it's Ladd McConkey from Georgia. No relation to Phil McConkey of the Giants, 80 Super Bowl teams. I looked it up. 5'11", 185 pounds. 2023, 30 catches on 37 targets, 478 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Went to the Senior Bowl and balled out. All right? Profiles as a slot receiver, one of the best in the class. Excellent route runner. Absolutely excellent. Has great quickness, gets into the open field very well. He can accelerate very fast, runs a 4.39 40-yard dash. And besides that, he also can block pretty well, and he can punt return. Great vision. Has great vision on the field. That helps you as a running back, a wide receiver, a blocker, whatever it may be. His struggles are separating, getting the separation at the line of scrimmage. Has to separate from defensive backs a little bit better. And contested catch is not really a strength. You want to get the ball to him in space. Dealt with a few minor injuries in 2023, but nothing serious. I think McConkey is going to go second round. could go late in the first as well, but I think second round is about right for him. All right. Johnny Jimenez is a big Ladd McConkey fan. Yeah, that would be quite the asset. There is no doubt about it. All right, guys. So that quickest swig of water for the working man and woman. Yeah, they were. Yeah, Harlan. He did have some injuries, but yeah, with McConkey, but they were minor injuries. I don't think he's getting out of the second round. My opinion, but yeah, I've seen him go late in the first round in some mock drafts. People like him. Yeah, he's been rising up the boards for sure. All right, so now what I'm going to do is give you my list of the 28 wide receivers. I'm re-ranking it, okay? There's certain players that I may have liked on the previous show who I may be a little bit higher on now or a little bit lower on than I was before. And in the future, over the next couple weeks, we're going to talk about some of the other positions that are out there that we haven't yet. We might just combine them, like edge, linebacker, cornerback, just might highlight a couple of mid-round players the Jets might want to go after. I don't know if we're going to talk about tight end because, in my mind, outside of Brock Bowers, maybe one or two other guys, this tight end class is terrible. Absolutely terrible. So I'm glad the Jets have a pretty good tight end room at all to begin with, especially if they don't go for Brock Bowers at 10. All right, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to start with the 5th round or later. I'm going to rank them from one, my favorite, to the one on the bottom, and then we'll go 4th round, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. All right, so 5th round or later grades. So my favorite in that group would be Javon Baker from Central Florida. Great height, has a good ability to separate. Really, really like him. Seems to be flying a little bit under the radar. I think he would go early in the 5th. After that, I would go with Jalen Coker. After that, Jacob Cowing. We talked about him on the last show. Really a prototypical slot receiver. I think he's okay, but I think there's just other receivers who are better. Then I would go Jaquan Jackson, Jordan Whittington, Cornelius Johnson, and Ryan Flournoy. So the only other two receivers that we didn't talk about tonight were Baker and Cowing. So that's who I added on here. All right, so those are the 7 that I've got a 5th round grade or later on. And of course, there are more receivers, but these are the ones who stood out most to me. The great Rusty Spooner is here. All right, let's see who he likes. He likes Jordan Leggett. I'm just kidding. Jordan Leggett, a former Jets tight end. No, Xavier Leggett, Tez Walker, and Luke McCaffrey. Okay, those are some pretty good picks. All right, I hear that. 4th round, I've got 7 over here. I've got Malik Washington. I like him right at the top of day 3, one of the first few picks. Tez Walker, I like him too. A little bit raw. Hasn't played a whole lot of football, but he's definitely shown some potential. I just got to see him put it together a little bit more. There's some games where he looked great, some games where you didn't really notice him so much. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm thinking there. Johnny Wilson from Florida State, going to give you some great size. Jalen McMillan, very versatile player at Washington. Could play inside, could play outside. Got some nice tools. Maybe not excellent at too many things, but a good useful piece. Then I've got Rice. Then I've got Thrash, and then I've got McCaffrey. I've got him towards the bottom of the 4th round. And again, this wide receiver class is just so good. Other years, some of these guys would go higher, but there's always so much room. All right, let's go to day 2 of the draft. We're going to talk about the 3rd round. And at the top of my 3rd round, I've got, you know who he is, the Yak God. You know he's one of my favorites, Malachi Corley. He continues to rise up the boards. In fact, some people are thinking he's going to go in the 2nd round. I would not be shocked and I would not be offended. After that, I've got Troy Franklin. Again, to me, just the pros are great, but the negatives worry me. Roman Wilson, I like him in the 3rd round. Jalen Polk, I think, does not get a whole lot of respect or a lot of recognition, but Jalen Polk is a favorite of mine. And we talked about Ricky Pearsall as well. I've got him in the 3rd round as well. All right, let's go on to the 2nd round, and I've got 5 for you. At the top, I've got Keon Coleman from Florida State. I was a little bit higher on him before, but the more I saw, I was like, maybe I'm not as big on him as I was. The testing didn't go quite as well. I still think he's good enough to go early in the 2nd, but it wasn't long ago people were thinking about him top 15, certainly top 20. I think he's dropping a little bit there, but I still think he could be a very good vertical threat, great red zone target. Xavier Leggett, we've talked about it. I think he's fantastic. I think he made Spencer Rattler look a lot better than he actually is. I know there's some big Rattler fans out there, but I think Leggett had a lot to do with making Rattler. Great separation, makes crazy catches, I love his acceleration. I happen to like Leggett a lot. I really, really do. Ladd McConkey after that, then I would go A.D. Mitchell, and then I would go Xavier Worthy. So as far as the first rounders, Dane asked, did I miss Pearsall? Yeah, there's Pearsall. Yeah, he's right there. Right there at the bottom of the third round. That's where I've got Ricky Pearsall. I got you, dog. I got you. And number one in the first round, I've only got 4. Marvin Harrison Jr., enough said. Then I've got Rome Odunze over Malik Neighbors, which is a pretty controversial take, but there are a few people who do agree with me. And Brian Thomas, I've got number 4. So those are the 4 that I've got a first, sort of like that first round grade on. My thing with Odunze, I think people are wondering, why Odunze over Neighbors? For one thing, Odunze he's about 3 inches taller. Odunze, I think, is a little bit better. And my biggest thing with Neighbors, it's more of an anti-Neighbors thing. There have been questions about his motor and about his consistency, and anytime I hear that, I worry, especially when it comes to a wide receiver. Okay, so that is really me. And Odunze, I believe, as I remember, I think he has a better hand. I think he has a better drop rate than the Neighbors does too. So to me, I happen to be a more of a fan of Odunze. Hey, I'd be good either way. I'm just not into trading up from Malik Neighbors. Some people want to go up 2 or 3 spots. I'm not on that train, guys. I'm just not. The only receiver I'm moving up for is Marvin Harrison. That is it. Nobody else. All right, so those are my wide receiver grades. I hope everybody found it, learned something from it. Hope it was a good use of your time. And now we're all a little bit, now we all know a little bit more than we did a couple of days ago about some of the best receivers and sort of some of the under the radar wide receivers in this class. All right. So, guys, I'll tell you what. It's only 10:52. I know we got a couple of things still to do tonight, but yeah, let me see. Yeah, I've seen a couple of different scouts talk about the motor thing. Yeah, I've seen a couple of different websites that I go to for scouting reports and things like that, and that was a concern of theirs. So we'll see. I mean, hey, maybe it's a thing that's blown out of proportion, maybe, but to me, that's like one of the first red flags. When I see motor issues, when I see a receiver who is doing body catches, those two things scare me. That's me. Because I don't know if you can unlearn those habits. All right. Anthony Gould, I got to tell you, man, Anthony Gould did not come up on my list. I'll go back and look at him, but yeah, with the receivers I was looking at, yeah, I wasn't finding, the different videos I watched. I never saw anybody talk about him, but yeah, I will definitely check that out. So yeah, I'm even going to write his name down, and I will look at it this week. Rusty says Wayne Corbett is going crazy over Ladd McConkey. I could see the resemblance. Yeah, McConkey's got a little bit more size. Right? Yeah. How tall was Corbett? Was Corbett like 5'9"-ish, something like that? I want to say Corbett was 5'9". That sounds about right. Yeah, McConkey's got another couple of inches, but I see a lot of similarities in their game. I really, really do. I can definitely see that connection there. Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate it, buddy. Wild Wave says, we will see either way. Neighbors and Odunze is 2A, 2B. No argument. No argument. They are different styles. I mean, Neighbors, he's got more acceleration to him, no doubt about that. Never going to deny that. He's such a beast. Only reason he falls is because he's 5'8". He's my height. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there is a place for a 5'8" receiver, but you got to have the right pieces around him. I mean, he can't be the focal point of your offense. That's for sure. Yep. Go Brees signed him with the second-round pick. Yep, that one worked. We've had a few good ones over the years. I mean, Marcus May was a good one. That's like the first one that comes to mind before Brees. There might have been one or two others, but yeah, for the most part, and that's actually one thing that bugs me because the Giants never make a good second-round pick. They should just trade all their second-round picks away and get players. It's like, no, you learn how to do it correctly because that is one of the spots in the draft where the teams tend to make the most impact. It's easier to hit on a first-round pick, but if you can hit on the second-round pick when the pickings are a little slimmer, That's a credit to your general manager. It's a credit to your coaches, and a really big credit to your scouting staff. Hey, Jake. Just getting in. I love Corley a little later at wide receiver. Yeah, I'm a big Corley guy. Big Corley guy, for sure. It worries me that some of these guys are rising up the rankings the way that they are, though. It's like everybody's finding out what we already all knew. Whether it's from us, whether it's from the other draft guys that we see on the air, the guys who know their stuff, and there's some good ones out there for sure. So, Rusty Spooner, was that with lifts and issues? All right, guys. I'll tell you what. Let's do. I think what we want to do here. We're gonna do the trivia in just 1 second here, but I'm thinking about what we're gonna do for the fun because the draft is coming up. We could do the wheel. I don't know if I want to do the 100 Jet players. Remember, we've got the wheel with the Jets. We got the position wheel. I'll tell you what. How about we do 2 mock drafts tonight? How about that? We'll do 2 mock drafts tonight. One we'll do the regular way, and the second one we will let the wheel determine our fate. All right? I think that's going to be fun. All right, so we'll do 2 mock drafts. But first, before we can do that, we must test your mind. We must test your knowledge of the green and white, of Gang Green, of your New York Football Jets. Guys, you know what time it is. Time for trivia. All right, guys, I'm going to try this one final time. All right? After I do the show, because I've had some copyright issues with this music, this godforsaken music. All right? After this, I'm going to put the description of the song into the description, and that should solve the problem. If I get another thing again, then I am permanently retiring this freaking music. I really like to do it. I know you guys like it too. It adds the drama, but I cannot be getting flagged on this. I cannot be getting that. All right, so I am going to set the mood. All right, so, Johnny Jimenez asking, what's the Mets story? Oh, I went through that in 3 and Out. Basically, the former Mets reliever, Chasen Bradford, was sworn in as a police officer in Henderson, Nevada. 24 hours later, he got a DUI and he got fired. Unbelievable. Johnny says, I can rap if you need some original music. Yeah, I'm not the biggest rap guy, but I am definitely open-minded to that. Yeah, we can definitely do something. Turn the volume down just a little bit. All right. So you guys know the rules. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. I'm going to put the question on the board. Throw your answers down there in the comments, and I will let you know when we have the right answer. So your question tonight, it goes like this. Name the 3 Jets draft picks with at least 30 career interceptions. Now notice I did not say 30 interceptions as a Jet. I said 30 career interceptions. Last week I had some questions about the clarity of the question. I do not want there to be any room for confusion at all. So, we've got Hank G with the guest, and there's somebody named Darrelle Revis. Well, let's go to the judge. Is Darrelle Revis a correct answer? Darrelle Revis is incorrect. I knew that was going to be the first answer. Darrelle Revis had 29 career interceptions. I know you hate me right now. Darrelle Revis had 29 interceptions. No joke. So it is not Revis. Okay. Johnny Jimenez goes Antonio Cromartie. Johnny, Cromartie was a San Diego Chargers draft pick, not a Jets draft pick. Again, drafted by the Jets. Yeah, there you go. Dano says Ray Mickens. That's a pretty good guess, but no, he did not have 30. Oh, almost missed one. Jets Mess says Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is correct. Aaron Glenn had 41 career interceptions. So that's 1. Can you get 2 more? Nathan Colgrove echoing Jets messer there in Glenn. Hank G says, what's the name of the Baltimore safety who played for the Jets under Rex? Hank, if you're thinking about Ed Reed was definitely not a Jet. Oh, I think, are you talking about Ed Reed or Jim Leonard? But either way, they were not Jets draft picks, so not there. Did I tell you guys the story of how I basically blew it with Jim Leonard's sister in Indianapolis one time? Okay, just right. Oh well. She was very nice, though. Bill something. Yeah, I'm leaving out. If you mean like Bill Baird, like the old days with the Titans, I'm not counting that. I'm just talking about the Jets pick. I'm not going Titans on this one. Jake says, can you tell us how old the last one is? As we're halfway through. Okay. One of them, you got to go back before the year 2000. I will tell you that. So both of these guys were no longer Jets by the year 2000. 2000! Kyle Wilson. That son of a gun was allergic to an interception. Oh, my God. All right, guys, so far we have Aaron Glenn, but there are two more. One, if you're a Jets fan, you'll definitely know the names. One of them is a little bit older. I will say that. One, you have to go back a little bit, but definitely a known player. And it's a player that I've talked about before on the show. I've used him as trivia answers in the past. Harlan Abraham says Johnny Sample. Johnny Sample was signed off of waivers and came to the Jets after a long career with the Ravens. I think not the Ravens, the Colts, and I want to say the Giants. Assist says Brian Cox. Brian Cox was not a Jets draft pick. Yeah, picked by the Jets. That's the key, guys. Wild Wave says Calvin Pryor. Nope. We got 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock to go, boys and girls. Rusty Spooner says Ray Mickens. Yep, he was guessed. It was not him. One played primarily in the 70s. They're both defensive backs. One played in the 70s, and one played, I want to say, 80s, 90s, in that time. All right? Maybe that'll help that narrows it down a little bit. So we do have to go back in time a little bit. Rusty Spooner goes with Otis, my man, Smith. No, it was not Otis Smith. He was not a Jets draft pick, I think Otis Smith was a free agent signing for Parcells. Dano says I'm out, a little bit too old. Okay. Oh, Matthew Smith is here. He guesses LeBron James. Good to see you. Johnny Jimenez with a good guess. He says Victor Green. Victor Green, very close. Not quite, but I will say this. You are in the right time frame. You are very close with one of them. Rusty Spooner says James Hasty. Is it James Hasty? It sure is. James Hasty had 45 interceptions in his career. That's right. I know Jets Chaos would be proud of that because he is a James Hasty groupie. All right, there's one more, and it's probably the toughest one as the time has expired. And again, this guy played in the 70s, went on to win a Super Bowl once he left the Jets, and he's currently in Congress today. Let's see if that narrows it down. And he was a first-round pick, won a Super Bowl with the Raiders, and today he's in Congress in Utah. It's a pretty good one, too, from everything I hear. He's doing very well. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and give you the answer. This is Johnny Jimenez. Well, you know. Yeah, you know. Yep, Harlan Abraham yep, there it is. Burgess Owens. That is correct. I had to give a few clues away, but there we go. That's the end of that. Okay. Yep, so those are your three answers. James Hasty with 45, Aaron Glenn with 41, and Burgess Owens with an even 30. And yes, Darrelle Revis had 29 interceptions because, again, nobody would throw him the ball. That's what she said. All right, so let's do this. I am gonna go over to the to my other web browser here. All right, because we're gonna pull the wheel up. Actually, I'm gonna pull the we're gonna pull the draft. We're gonna pull the draft up. I'm gonna get that loaded. Then I'm gonna share my screen. All right, so guys, we're doing 2 mock drafts tonight. One the regular way, and one just have a little bit of fun. We're gonna do it with the wheel, guiding our every move. And I have I have adjusted the wheel a little bit from last time. Last time it was a little bit defensive focused. This time, not so much. Okay. Okay, all right, I've got it ready to go, and the draft has started. So now I'm going to go ahead and share the screen. So let's do that. Hit entire and hit allow. There we go, and I'm going to pull it up over here. Okay, so there, everything should be right there for us. Just making sure it comes up for you all. All right, there we go. So with the first 9 picks in the draft, we had Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May. So the quarterbacks go 1, 2, and 3. I don't know if we're gonna do the polls tonight, guys. Just you just throw your comments in. It's good enough. Then we have Marvin Harrison, then Malik Neighbors, then Roma Dunze. So we had 3 quarterbacks, then 3 wide receivers, then we had 2 offensive tackles, and then an edge rusher. Wow, the only way this could have gone much worse is if, like, I don't know, Bowers or I don't know if Waga went. All right, so we've had a few options taken away here. So let's take a look. As Jets Smith says, spin that wheel. We will, brother. We will. So let's go to the trade offers and see what we have available at number 10. We have 3 offers. Okay, so the Eagles want to trade us 22, 50, and 120, and they will and we will give them pick 10. So they want us to go back 12 spots, but we would get a second round pick as well as a third. I guess that'd be a 4th round pick, right? Or a late third, I guess. Yeah, but yeah, 4th round pick. That sounds about right. Okay. All right, so that's one option. Number 2, we could trade 10 and the coveted Mr. Irrelevant pick for 26, 57, and a first-round pick next year. You know what? Normally, I'd be interested in that, but I think for the sake of this draft, well, I mean, we get a first and a second, but we're going down a little bit further. And, you know, right now, we're not really able to worry about next year all that much. All right, that's another option. Number 3, we could trade with the Lions. I already hate this. 10 and 111 for 29, 61, 73, and a 2 and a 3 next year. So they want us to trade us basically picks at the end of rounds 1, round 2, the middle of round 3, which isn't terrible, but I don't like going down 19 spots. So we would be going down 19, 16, or 12 picks. So guys, let me know what you want to do. Do you want me to take the Philadelphia trade, the Tampa trade, the Detroit trade? We could go with Bowers. We could go with Fuaga. Johnny Jimenez says, let's make the draft wheel. We're going edge. Okay. We got some people. All right, Detroit. I'm seeing some no's on Detroit, so I've rejected that trade. All right, people seem to like the Philly trade. So 22, 50, and 120. Okay. So a late bit, kind of like a late first, a mid second, and yeah, a late. Why is my mind not working? And a late 4th. That sounds right. It's not bad. This would be a 10. Okay, I'm going to reject Tampa Bay. Matthew, Matthew, I get it, but for the sake of for what the Jets would be doing, and also for the sake of the exercise, I don't think we're worried about a first round pick next year. We got to win now, brother. All right, I'm going to do a quick counter on this just to see what else might be out there. Yeah, I don't even think there's much. Wow, look at Philly's draft next year. They've got their 1, their 2, their 3, and nothing else. I've never seen a draft like that. Wow, that is a crazy, crazy draft right there. I think the only other thing I would try to do is maybe I would switch maybe like 172 and 185, move up a couple of picks. Let's see if they'll bite. They didn't. Okay. All right, I'm going to take the Philly trade. I think people really want to do that. Dano says max 1 trade. Yeah, okay, we'll max. All right, we'll max out on 1 trade. That's cool. All right, so I'm going to. Oh, I think some people are going to like this. Just to take a look at what. Actually, the Baltimore trade is not horrible. 22 for 30 and 257 for 30 and 62. That's not bad. Screw them. Okay. Baltimore trade's not bad to go down another 8 picks, but eventually you got to start picking some people. I mean, we didn't want to go down to 29 or 26, but now we'd be going down to 30. So, guys, I'm going to reject the trade. Okay, it's a good trade, but I don't want to keep trading down and down. Well, let's see who's available. So we got J.C. Latham. A lot of people like him. Brian Thomas, he'd be a great addition at wide receiver. Johnny Newton, maybe the best defensive tackle in the class. I doubt we're going cornerback or safety, although Cooper DeJean is more of a corner. So a lot of cornerbacks here. Tyler Guyton, very good. Now that might be, if you're looking for a tackle to develop for a year, Tyler Guyton might be a guy who makes some sense here. Okay. Yep, this is what we've got on the board. Latham, Thomas, Newton, Wiggins, DeJean, Kool-Aid, Tyler Guyton, Keon Coleman, Graham Barton. You can put him at tackle or guard. There's A.D. Mitchell. There's Xavier Worthy. Kingsley Suamatea, another tackle. Jordan Morgan is there also. Now, our next pick after this. Oh, shoot. Uh-oh, guys, I think I made a mistake. Guys, I messed up. I apologize. I think I only set this up for one round. I have to restart this. All right, guys, this never happened. My mistake. I was doing it quickly. I didn't hit the 7. My fault. All right, let's try this again. And almost nothing changed. The only thing that did change was that Fuaga went, not Fashanu. I know, Rusty. It was a mistake. It happens. I admit it. At least I didn't hit restart like in round 4, right? All right, guys, we're starting over. All right, so Cincinnati would give us picks 18 and 49 for pick 10. Now we've got Fashanu. Adunze is there this time. Bowers is there also. Or we could go with Jacksonville, who wants to give us 17, 48, and a 5th next year. Well, the 5th to me doesn't mean much. So basically 10 for 17 and 48 or 10 for 18 and 49. So to me, I would just take the Jacksonville one because that's better. So I'm just rejecting this one right now. I would need more from Cincinnati. All right, guys. So we got some options here. We could go with the Jacksonville trade. We could take Fashanu, Bowers, or Adunze. A lot of ways to go here, guys. Put down there in the chat. What would you like to do? Yeah, doing the polls, I have to open up another browser, and it becomes a lot of work, and sometimes it slows it down. So, yeah, we're not going to do the polls for right now. Tampa Bay beats Boston 3-1. Okay. All right, I'm seeing most of the people want to go with the Jacksonville trade. Okay, 1 or 2 people want to do Fashanu. Nobody's really interested in Bowers. All right, guys, we're going to trade down. Now let's see if we can make it a little better for ourselves. It's always worth a try, right? What if we could get 116 and 134 into a swap? 18 spots. Let's see. No? Okay. Sometimes it does work. All right. I'm going to go ahead and accept the trade. Okay. Wow. All right. So Carolina wants us to go down to 33, but they'll give us pick 39 as well. So now we would not be picking in the first round, but we would have 2 early second-round picks. Very interesting. Very interesting. Or we could take the Tampa trade and go down 9 spots, take pick 26, and we would have pick 89. So in that case, we could have a late first and a late third, a late first and a late third, or 2 early seconds. I like the Carolina trade, but let's just see who's there. We've got Latu, Troy Fatanu. Try saying that 3 times fast. We have Latham is there, Brian Thomas, Newton, JPJ. A lot of people like him, but I don't know if that's the place. If the Jets are the fit for him now that they've kind of loaded up on the interior offensive line. And I still like Tyler Guyton down there as a developmental player because now I'm okay at this point drafting a player who could develop for a year and step in when needed. And you could still get a very good receiver in a Mitchell or a Worthy, or you could get a piece on the offensive line. Yeah, Morgan, Sua Matea, Christian Haynes is ranked very highly. Lad McConkey is down there at 40. I'm thinking that Carolina trade does sound pretty good. Yeah, I think I'm game with it. Rusty wants us to get Graham Barton, and then Morgan. Okay. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I think the majority is going with the trade. Okay. This is going to be the last trade we make. There's going to be 2 trades. I don't know if I want to do another one after this, but I think these are 2 very, very good trades. All right. I'm going to accept it. Okay. All right. I'm not interested in the Eagles trade. Now we're going to pick a player. All right. Well, some of the players that we would have wanted did go. Worthy went. Coleman. Wow, Morgan. Yeah, there was a bit of a run there. Mitchell went quite early. Fatana. Yeah, a lot of the guys we would have wanted went quite quickly. All right. Well, we got some decisions to make. Now, might not be able to pick the position that we want, but we can go a couple places. I don't know if any Jets fan actually wants to go quarterback here, but we talked about Sua Mateo. We like him. Would you want a guard as your first draft pick? Christian Haynes is really good, but yeah, we have 33 and 39 is what we have. So we have 33, 39, and 48. It's quite a run we're going to have. Rusty, no, Graham Barton went. So I think at this point, Lad McConkey, Christian Haynes, Sua Matea, it may not be the most exciting. This is not going to be top heavy, but we definitely have some very talented players coming up here. I mean, Cooper Beebe, we could get him in a little bit for the offensive line. Corley's going to be coming up. We could grab him too. I think it's too early for a running back for sure. Vondre Sweat, excellent run-stopping defensive tackle who can rush the passer a little bit. So I think let's see, I like Newman, but I like Tyler Newman a lot, but I can't justify his safety here. Johnny wants Lad McConkey. Yeah, we could go with Lad. It would definitely give us a unique weapon on that offense. I kind of like the idea. Yeah, Dave's right. So much for 5th-year options. Hey, we tried something different. It's always easy to stay right where you are and just to do it, but no, we're not. Decided to get a little crazy. It was a unique offer, but some of the players that we wanted. Dano asks, is Lad McConkey young? I want to say he's like 23-ish. Let me look that up. I'll look it up for you. It's killing me. No, McConkey is only 22 years old. He turns 23 in November, so he is very young. He's a young lad. Yes, young lad. All right, so I think McConkey, Sweat, Haynes. Yeah, McConkey, Sweat, Haynes, or Kingsley. I think those are the 4 we'll go with here. All right. So Kingsley, the offensive tackle, Christian Haynes, the offensive guard. Don't know if I love Sumate. I almost feel like we can get another tackle later, to be honest. Lad McConkey, and I'll throw into Vondre Sweat, I guess. I think we can bring Zach Frazier up on the next round. Yeah, 3 of the next 15 picks. We got a lot. Yeah, coming up. You know what? I got to say, there was a run on receiver and offensive line. I think we better take a pretty high position here. So, assist is leaning towards McConkey. Okay. I think it's most likely going to be even if we lose Haynes, we could get Cooper Beebe too if that's what we want to do. We might just have to wait a little bit. We might have to wait a little. Let me see who's available at tackle. Patrick Paul is still a very good pass blocking offensive tackle. Amagaji, Roger Rosengarten, those are all fine picks also. And again, we're in a position where we could develop a tackle for a year. He doesn't have to play immediately. All right. Right now, I think the majority is going with Lad McConkey. All right, that's who we're going to draft. Wow. Okay. Reject that. And I'm definitely rejecting that. All right. Well, we didn't really lose anybody else we wanted. Um, Sweat would have been nice, but that's fine. Okay. Christian Haynes goes to the Cardinals. And now we're picking again in 9 picks. All right. So let's see what we got. Cooper DeJean, who's more of a quarterback now than a safety. You have Penix. You have Sua Mateo if you want to go tackle. Zach Frazier at center. Although, with that in mind, you have to wonder what that's going to mean next year. Are we going to reshuffle the entire offensive line again? Dane asks, who was on my second round PowerPoint earlier? You know what? Maybe I can give me a second here. I could do that. I think I got it. Let's add this to the stage. So add Coleman, Leggett, McConkey, Mitchell, and Worthy. Yeah, I know you can't see it all. Yeah, yep, there it is. Okay, yep, you guys got it now. Yep, Coleman, Leggett, McConkey, Mitchell, and Worthy. So yeah, Coleman went. I think Leggett went. I know Mitchell went. McConkey, and I think Worthy did too. Did Leggett go? I don't know if Leggett. No, Leggett's only ranked 64. Yeah, Leggett went down a little bit on this list. So yeah, we could get Leggett much later. 48. I don't know about at 72. If we want him, we're going to have to take Leggett at 48, but we don't have to take him now. And again, we've already taken one wide receiver. I don't know. If we're going to take a receiver, it has to be a legit outside receiver. And I think I would wait a little bit on another receiver. All right, so we got Beebe. All right, people are very interested in Cooper Beebe. Let's look at the tackle list. We've got Sua Mateo, we got Patrick Paul, Roger Rosengarten, who again was the pitcher and rookie of the year, the kid pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. Offensive guard Cooper Beebe, far and away the best one on the board. You still have Mahogany and Pooney, and you have some good ones for sure. And then you have Zach Frazier at center. I like the idea of Cooper Beebe. I could go with that. And at defense, we got Rook. We still got him. Braden Fisk. I'm amazed he's only ranked 68. I think Braden Fisk is going to go by pick 50. He is rising that quickly. All right, linebacker, quarterback, safety. Okay. I think at this point, I think Beebe is kind of in the lead here, and I don't think we want to risk losing him. So, Dane asks, can I swap screens back? Oh, okay. I thought I have the right one up on my screen. Let's see here. Give me a second. Oh, I think I know what I need to do. I got to remove this. All right, I'm going to give it a second because on my phone it's a little bit of a delay. So let me see. All right, all right. So I'm gonna reshare the screen. Here we go. All right, present, share screen. I do wish this was a little bit easier to use, but what the heck? It's fine. There it is. Okay, coming up. All right, Cooper Beebe is gonna take this one, so we're gonna draft a guard. There we go. Stop calling us. We don't like you. All right, I don't think I'm interested in the Carolinas. 48 and 185 for 65, 101, and a third next year. Not feeling it. Not feeling it. All right, then after this, we've got 48, 72, 111, 134, 185, 256, and 257. So we still have a lot to do. A lot to do. And then we're gonna have the crazy mock draft, the mock draft on acid, where we do the wheel. You're gonna want to stick around for that. All right, McConkey, Beebe. So now at pick 48, let's see what's available. We could go Zach Frazier, take another interior offensive line. I think running back, it's a little bit too soon. You have Troy Franklin. You could beef up the defense with Aurora or Leonard Taylor. Chris Braswell, fine edge player from Alabama. Malachi Corley would not really make sense here because we already took McConkey. Cameron Kitchens, I think one of the better safeties. If you want to get a pass blocking tackle, Patrick Paul would be a very good way to go. I will say that. Cornerback, you've got Max Melton, or if you want to go with another wide receiver, Xavier Leggett would be a great choice. All right, so here's what here are the four I'm gonna give you. All right. There's some people. Yeah, I'm not sure if I love the idea of taking another interior offensive lineman, but I almost want to go tackle here. But all right, here are the options I'll throw out: Frazier, Paul, da, 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 da. Throw in. I don't know about Max Melton. I like him, but I think it's just a little too rich. I'll throw in Xavier. And let's see. Just to do something on the defense, yeah, I'll throw in. I don't know about a safety yet. I'll throw in Rook because he's up there. So let me put this in here. Rook, Paul. I'm just gonna put the names in the chat. Rook, Paul, Rook, Paul. Not RuPaul. Rook, Paul, Rook, Paul. All right. So Rook, Paul, Frazier, and Xavier. All right. All right, guys, let me know who you want. I know Johnny and Rusty, they both want Frazier. Rusty says Frazier can play tackle too. I haven't heard of a center who has been shifted over to tackle. You know what, though? I'll do this. If you guys are that high on him, I'm going to pull this up. I'm just worried about us having too many IOLs and not enough tackles next year. I would like to have a tackle in there that we could develop. Okay. Yep, state champion wrestler. I remember, we did talk about that. 6'2", 313 pounds. I mean, maybe. I don't know if he really has the bulk for it. All right, guys. Hey, in the chat, let your voices be heard. Who would you like to draft? Matthew Smith says, "Give me Iguodala." Andre Iguodala? Not sure who that is. All right. Well, all right. We don't. Nathan wants to go with Patrick Paul. Okay. I'll pull up. I'll pull up the Paul scouting report real quick. 6'7", 331, a 9.75 RAS. Allows him to redirect rushers, handle stunts. Yep, we talk patience and pass protection. Technique, raw power. Not the most athletic tackle though, but some more of a pass blocker than a run blocker. So, yeah, I think Frazier needs a little weight too. For center, okay, but I mean, we got Tippmann, and we have AVT and Simpson at guard, and we just drafted another guard. We drafted Cooper Beebe. So, I definitely think we're going offensive line here, guys. I don't think there's any question. I think it's going to be Paul or it's going to be Frazier. Yeah, it's pretty close. All right. I hope Johnny and Rusty won't be offended, but yeah, I think we're leaning towards Patrick Paul. Okay. And I think midway through the second, this is a sensible pick. This is a good developmental project that could be ready to go next year. So that's who we're going to draft. It's amazing. I feel like do you guys all feel like you're starting to recognize more of these names now as they're passing by? It's kind of cool. So we go to pick 72. Now Houston, no. Minnesota, I don't think so. I don't think so. Those trades did not look very good. All right, so a few good players did go. Now after this, we have pick 111. So we've got about 39 picks to go after this. Okay. So I look at the list. I like Braden Fisk. I'm a big fan of. Very, very explosive. Dominated the combine. A 9.89 RAS. I think Robert Saleh would really, really like him. Leonard Taylor, very, very good. 5 sacks, 19 tackles for a loss. He's more of a two-way defensive tackle, whereas Fisk, I think, is more of a pass rusher. Oh, didn't mean to click off. All right, Bo Braid at safety. We can get Cedric Van Pran if we want to go center. Cole Bishop would be a good choice at safety. I do like him. And a wide receiver, yeah, you got Jalen McMillan at this point. Braylon Allen, I like him. Good power running back. Brandon Dorless, edge from, we are going to be getting we know we're getting an edge rusher at some point, whether it's free agency or the draft. We are definitely doing that. All right, Brandon Dorless. He's the highest ranked one on the board, 6'3", 283, 8.59 RAS. Middle-like combo defensive tackle, edge defender, uses every bit of his frame. Strength point attack is excellent, capable of handling his own next level. Next best part is agility and well-rounded nature as a technician. He has patience attack will exploit the weaknesses of a blocker, whether it's splitting blockers with a sidestep. All right. His power should help him see time as a 3-4 end early in his career. Well, we don't play the 3-4, so I don't know. I don't know about that one. All right. All right, we could definitely go Van Pran. We could go Fisk. Cole Bishop at safety would be a good choice too. I don't know about running back. Guys, if there's any positions you'd like me to look up, let me know. Rusty, I'm pretty sure Zinter's definitely available. He's not going early. Yeah, Zinter's going to be available at 147, and as you know, we've already taken one guard. So, yeah, we can wait a while for Zach Zinter. Jets Mess wants to look at linebacker. Okay. Cedric Gray from North Carolina. I've heard good. Jeremiah Trotter is getting very good reviews too. Jeremiah Trotter's son. Somehow I knew that. Cedric Gray, 6'1". I'm going to be looking at linebackers a little bit this week. I'm going to try to make some time for that over Easter weekend. Over the last 3 years, Gray's accumulated massive numbers: 340 tackles, 28 tackles for a loss, 8 sacks, 5 interceptions, 12 pass breakups, 5 forced fumbles, 5 fumbles recoveries. Very active linebacker, rising up as a prospect. That's as of November of 2023. That doesn't sound too bad, actually. All right. Harlan Abraham wants to go with Cole Bishop. I think he's one of the best centers in this draft. Trevin Wallace also, Rusty says. Okay. 6'1", 237, a 9.55 RAS. Okay. I see that. Yeah, Gray has a very good ranking. Gray, Fisk, Bishop. Yeah, any of those would be really good. All right, guys. Here's what I'm going to put in. I'm going to put in Cedric, Braden. I'm going to put in. Oh, there's 2 Cedrics. All right, there we go. I'm going to put in Bishop, Cole Bishop. We've taken Braylon Allen before. I really like him. I'm going to take a quick look at running back, guys. And there's still some very good ones left. Jalen Wright, I think, is fantastic. Audric Estime, I think, is very good, too. I think we can wait on running back. So I'm going to pass on that. I'll throw in Cedric, the center, because we have some folks who want to look at center. All right, guys, let me know in the chat who you want to take. I'm going to step out for about 30 seconds. Just got to clear myself out. I'll be right back. All right, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. All right, Bishop, Van Pran, Fisk. It looks like Bishop's got the advantage on this one. All right, I'm going to go with Cole Bishop. Let's just quickly read the scouting report on him. Yeah, a 9.87 RAS. Hello! I like it. Yep, do it all talents, single high, 2 out of the line of scrimmage. Yeah, he always finds himself around the football. He very, very well, and really a good leader, a good kid. Yeah, I think Bishop would be a great pick here at 72. Let's take him. And now we wait until 111. Rusty, I'm sorry. All right, the Jaguars want us to trade down, and no. 3 spots. They'll give us 212. We don't really care. Okay, let's pull everything up. Now we got 111, then we got 134. Okay, so yeah, we just took a safety. Bucky Irving, he's still available. That is one of the worst RAS scores I've ever seen on a running back. 2.16, not so good. Cade Stover, if you were going to go with a tight end and you weren't getting Brock Bowers, that would not be the worst idea. I need an actual mouse, not the mouse pad. Okay, I will. We got to remember we're not looking at safeties right now. Michael Pratt, if we want to get our developmental quarterback, this would be a great spot for that. Malik Washington, but again, we drafted Ladd McConkey. He sort of fulfills that interior wide receiver spot. You have some very good running backs here in Jalen Wright and Dylan Lobby. Mekhi Wingo, I like him a lot at defensive tackle. Rusty Spooner wants to know who's available at offensive line. The whole line. Okay. I'll do that in one moment. Jamari Thrash is there too. Okay, let's go all the way back to the top. I think some of the good ones are gone. But so far, by the way, just to recap, we've taken McConkey, Beebe, Hall, and Bishop. So we've taken a guard and a tackle. Now we could take Matt Goncalves, Jalen Foster, Garrett Greenfield, and Christian Jones are both there, and they're going to be there for when we come around again. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. I like those 2 tackles quite a bit. Offensive guard, if you want to go there, you have some very good ones in Coleman, McCormick, who's really rising up the boards. We've already talked about Zach Zinter. So there are definitely going to be some good offensive linemen to take. As far as the centers, yeah, it's a big drop off. The next one is ranked 179. I like Kingsley Aguakan as a developmental guy, but you could get him in the 6th or 7th round. So I got to be honest, I think we could get a good offensive lineman at pick 134. We've already taken 2. I think we should address another need. That's just my opinion. Only mine. All right, so I think I want to put in Pratt, Wingo, Jalen Wright, and again, I like him a lot. 9.8 RAS, 5'10", 210 pounds. I like him a lot. Dylan Lobby, I don't know if I want to quite put him on that level. Let's see. I think those 3. If there was an edge rusher, I'd put him there, but I'm not seeing it. Okay, those are going to be the 3. I'm going to put in Pratt, Wingo, and Wright. Sounds like a comedy writing team, doesn't it? Yeah, Pratt, Wingo, and Wright. I think that's about it. Yeah, I love Malik Washington, but again, Ladd McConkey, that's his job. I'll be interested to see where this goes. Matthew Smith says Bucky Irving is the running back 3 in the class. He liked college football and yak of running backs, but had a DOAC of minus 1.2. Matthew just breaking out the abbreviations on us. And then he went the DOA. It's like how many acronyms can I use in one comment? Oh man, we got a little bit of a division here. We seem to be pretty tied up between Pratt and Wright. And I got to be honest, yeah, either one of these guys I'd be very happy with, but I can tell you we're not going to be able to get them after this. I will. I'll take a look at the other quarterbacks. After Pratt, we're looking at Jordan Travis and Joe Milton, Austin Reed, and Carter Bradley. Sam Hartman, if you like him. And running back after this is you still have a few good ones. Marshawn Lloyd, he's quite good. Isaiah Diaz, Isaac Guerrero. I didn't talk about him last time, but yeah, he is making a name for himself very quickly. Dano says Dane Brugler. Yeah. Dane likes Dane. I see how it goes. A little Dane on Dane love. All right, very cool. All right, all right, guys. I'll tell you what. I will go ahead and take Michael Pratt with this pick. We're going to take our future quarterbacks. And I got a quarterback room of Aaron Rodgers, Tyrod Taylor, and Michael Pratt. And Zach Wilson's kind of like got his head in the window for a little while longer. All right, and Jamari Thrash goes right there. And Jalen Wright survives to pick 134. Oh, perfectly done. Way to go, guys. All right, way to go, computer mock. Oh, I am very happy about this. All right, guys. For me, Jalen Wright would be a home run pick, unless you want to go with like a Brendan Rice. Brendan Rice is there. I'll throw in Tyler Davis. We have not addressed the defensive line yet. Okay. The only defensive player we picked is a safety. All right, so I'm going to put this in. I'll put three names in. I'm going to put Wright. I'm going to put in Tyler. And I'm going to put in Rice. Wright Rice, I guess is what. Matthew Smith wants me to take Cade Stover. I think Matt Stover, the kicker for the Ravens way back when. Dano says it's Adam's turn. I vote right. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we're leaning towards right, but want to make sure we gave everybody a chance. I'm going to take a quick look at wide receiver. I want to see who's going to be down there a little bit later on. Yeah, maybe Jalen Coker, Jaquan Jackson, maybe. Yes, some of the guys we talked about, they should, we could still take them. Oh, I know what we need to do. We need to find Mr. Gold. We need to find Johnny's boy, Johnny Jimenez's boy. Anthony Gold is ranked number 283 from Oregon State. Translation, we have time. Dano says, is Coker a midnight toker? Well, he sure don't want to hurt no one. Ooh. Ooh. Rusty Spooner says, is Justin Rogers available, the defensive tackle from Auburn? I don't recall the name Justin Rogers. That's Casey Rogers from Oregon. Rusty comes up with players that even the scouts don't even know existed. Justin Rogers is ranked 550 on this board. He's ranked even lower than my guy, Jason Henderson from ODU, the nation's leader in tacklers. So, yeah. All right. So we're going to go. All right. I'm going to go Jalen Wright here. It's like destiny. We wanted one of the two, and now we can get them. Oh, by the way, Frank Gore Jr., the Frank Gore guys, 475 on this list. I'm not saying this thing is gospel, but, if he's 475 here, he's not going to be, there's a good chance he may not be drafted, as we just passed my guy, Jawar Jordan. All right, we're taking Jalen Wright, which I think is a steal of a pick. And now we have to wait until pick 185. I'll pull up the big board for us. Wow, Ryan Flournoy. Did you guys see that? Let's go back up. Ryan Flournoy goes pick 181 to the Chargers. Wow. That's pretty crazy. All right, guys, this is our last pick until the 7th round, so we want to make this one count and make it count good. So we've taken a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, 2 offensive linemen, and a safety. So I'm thinking at this point, either a wide receiver or we want to help that front 7. I think it's time to give that front 7 a little bit of love. So at wide receiver, let's see what we got. We've got Jaquan Jackson. We talked about he's small, but he's fast. Cornelius Johnson will give you the size. Jordan, and great traits. 24 years old though. All right. Dane says, Dane thinks Izzy is going to be number 2. I just don't. I don't think we're there yet. I really think we're going to draft somebody. I think we need to look at defense, guys. So defensive tackle. I got to be honest, I don't know too many of these guys. I know Juwan Briggs a little bit. Yeah, 6'1", 213. Logan Lee. I mean, we do have 4 defensive tackles on the roster, so if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But in an edge, I see a guy I like. Yeah, I like Muhammad Kamara very much. I'll click on Xavier Thomas. 6'2", 244, 8.11 RAS. Muhammad Kamara, though, all right, 6'1", 248. Not as high a RAS, but yeah, okay, not overly powerful in the run game, but respectable enough not to be a liability. 28.5 tackles for a loss, 16.5 sacks in his career. Has to continue being a sack artist who overcomes his size to be drafted. Raw skills could have him in the mix. I've seen him mentioned on a number of videos that talked about NFL sleepers, and I kind of think that Muhammad Kamara would be a really good pick here. Because we know the Jets are going to go with an edge rusher. We know we need another edge rusher to replace Bryce Huff. So to me, Kamara would really be really, really good. Miles Cole, 6'6", 278, 9.92. Often plays more of as an off-ball linebacker than a true edge defender. Okay. More of a camp invite player due to his lack of instincts and explosiveness. Well, I guess the RAS doesn't measure explosiveness, right, guys? What can I say? Okay, guys. Yep, I'm taking I'm taking the list down. All right. I actually had a friend in high school named Justin Rogers. I assume it's not the same guy. All right. All right, guys. We're gonna make we got to make this pick. It's 11:45 because after this we're doing one more draft. We're doing it with the wheel, and we got 3 picks left to make, guys. So if there's a position you would like me to pull up, let me know. Yeah, I mean, if we didn't take a running back, Garendo would have been a great choice. Tanner McLaughlin, yeah, Matt Miller's draft on ESPN had us taking Tanner McLaughlin. I did see that. Dylan McMahon, pretty good developmental guard. All right, guys. Any thoughts? If not, then I'm probably just going to take an edge. I'm probably going to take Kamara, just because I don't know if we're going to get another edge rusher at 256 or 257. And at that point, we'll just take like the best players we could get. All right. Anybody has any ideas? I'll give you 10 seconds. If there's anybody you want me to look at or any position. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm taking Muhammad Kamara as our edge rusher. And now we wait and wait and wait. Okay. All right. So let's see who's still available. Carter Bradley. Well, we took our quarterback. You know, I'm a Jawar Jordan guy, but we took Jalen Wright. We want to upgrade at linebacker. Luke Reimer would not be a bad idea. 6'1", 225. Kingsley Aguakin. You know, I like him as a developmental player on that offensive line. Al Walcott Jr. I've seen some people who have wanted him. I know we took one safety, but maybe a second one would not be bad. And we have no information on him whatsoever. Okay. Guys, if there's a position you would like me to look up, player position, let me know. I may give the last pick to Rusty. I may have to do that. All right, offensive line, let's see. Ethan Driscoll, he's okay. He's okay. At guard, Clark Barrington, not bad. Kyle Hurdle's okay. I think Aguakin is my favorite offensive line, but still on the board. We're not looking at punter. Any wide receivers left worth looking at? I doubt it. Nah, I don't think so. Well, you know what, guys? Here's what we're going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. Oh, Matthew Smith is asking about Mike Oxlong. Okay. I have an idea on what we're going to do. I think the right way to end this. Yeah, somehow I don't think Mike Oxlong is part of this. I'm going to do something for you guys, for the guys who are obviously very dedicated to certain players. Okay? So I am going to take, with pick 256, where is this guy? I'm going to take, Johnny, this one's for you. I'm taking Anthony Gold. So I'm going to do that just for you, brother. All right, so that one is for you. 5'8", 174, 8.83 RAS. Receiver and returner, 16.9 yards per catch, 457 yards, 3 touchdowns, first team All-American, playing at Oregon State. Not bad. Not bad. All right, Johnny, that one's for you. And Harlan says take a Guakin with pick 257. Nathan wants me to look at linebacker. All right, Nathan, I got you. I mean, Luke Reimer, I've seen him come up a few times. I think that's a pretty good idea. Yeah, you know, we didn't address linebacker. Yeah, the only thing I'm surprised we didn't address was defensive tackle, but that's still okay. We made a lot of improvements to this offense and to the special teams. All right, guys, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, well, I think Reimer is where I'm leaning towards. I like Jalen Simpson, but we took, I think we're pretty good at safety. Cornerback, edge. Let's go back to the offense. Marcus Harris is pretty good. We took our quarterback, got a running back in place, wide receivers, and the tight ends stink. All right. Justin the Monster Rogers. All right, so we took gold, and I think there's only one thing that I could do here. I've got to take Justin Rogers from Auburn. And if that wasn't good enough, we got a 5th-round pick from Jacksonville next year. So, guys, that is draft number 1 for tonight. Ladd McConkey, and remember, our first 3 picks were all at the result of trades. Ladd McConkey, Cooper Beebe, and Patrick Paul. Definitely going to help to fortify that offensive line. Then we added Cole Bishop to give us some leadership in that safety spot. If Chuck Clark does leave after 1 year, Bishop will slide right in as a starter. Michael Pratt, very good developmental quarterback, very high floor. Jalen Wright at running back, who I like a lot. Muhammad Kamara, potentially Bryce Huff's replacement. And then we did a few fan appreciation picks in Anthony Gold and Justin Rogers. All right, so there we go. That is it for mock draft number 1. Now, so that was your standard mock draft, the kind of mock draft that you could find on just about anybody's channel, with Jets Chaos, with Proud New York Jets Fan, with Jake Asman, anybody who, Matt O'Leary, Ryan, Greenbean, anybody who might do a mock draft. That's what you've seen. But nowhere else will you get the draft wheel. Jets draft choice. There's the wheel, guys. So it's going to be a thing where I'm going to be clicking back and forth a little bit. I'll try not to go to move too quickly here. So let's enter the draft. Now, the way it works is before every single pick, we are going to spin the wheel. And based off where we land, that is going to tell us what position to go with or what we have to do. Now, there are some chat's choice options. There are some trade options. There are some offensive player options, defensive player, and individual positions. All right? So you never know what might happen here. Last time we did this, it was almost all defensive players. It was crazy. All right? So let's see what happens tonight. It should be fun. Let's enter the draft. All right. So before we look at any trade proposals, and we've got 2 of them, we are going to spin the wheel. All right. Just make sure this comes up for everybody. Rusty's right. The wheel of the Rusty. I thought that was actually a really good draft. I think that's about as good a draft as we could have had, considering we did not have a 1st-round draft choice. Okay, here's the wheel, guys. So I'm going to spin it, and wherever we land, we have to follow the instructions. All right, so I'm going to spin the wheel, count it down in 3, 2, 1. And it's going to land on trade if offered. So what this means, guys, the X out of that is we have to accept a trade. It doesn't have to be one that's up here, but we will have to accept a trade. Now, Detroit wants to give us quantity. They want to give us pick 29, 61, 73, 205, and a 2nd-round pick. At this point, why are they even giving us 205? Gosh dang. Jets mess throwing out the wheel there. All right, so that would be a pick at the end of the 1st, the end of the 2nd, the beginning of the 3rd, somewhere around, the 6th round, and a 2 next year. All right. The other option would be the Tampa Bay trade that I think was proposed to us earlier. So this would be pick 26, 57, and a 1 next year. So these picks are only 3 apart. Tampa Bay would give us a pick a little bit sooner. All right. So, guys, let me know, Detroit or Tampa Bay. So put down there in the chats, Lions, Bucks. Which way would you like us to go? We could go with the quantity. So 29 and 61, plus they'll give us 73, 205, and a 2. All right, so 29, 61, or 26 and 57. So those picks are better, plus they will give us a 1st-round pick next year. All right now Detroit is in the lead. Okay, interesting. Assist says let's do Lions because the wheel will have more spins. You know what? That may be a good idea. David D is pondering this one. The man is conflicted and he needs to consider the options. All right, so 26, 57, and next year's one. And with the first round for Tampa Bay next year, I don't think they're making the playoffs. So that could be about 15-ish, 20-ish. Oh shit! I'm sorry. I hit accept. I didn't mean to do that. All right. I hit. Guys, should I restart it? My finger hit the accept button when I didn't mean for it. I got to move this thing out of the way. It's getting in the way. If you guys want me to restart it, I will. And we'll just do the first trade that comes along because I think more people were interested in the Detroit pick, but I hit Tampa Bay. So that was. I do apologize. All right. All right. The problem is I have like my my stand here. I've been moving my arm to. All right. All right. Well, all right. We'll just roll with it. All right, guys. All right. Here we go. All right. So now we have picks 26 and 57, and we have a first round pick next year. All right. So now we're going to go back to the wheel. So let's max the wheel out. There we go. And we are going to spin that wheel again in 3, 2, 1. And it's coming to a stop on. So this is good. Any offensive lineman. All right. I like that. We can work with this. All right. Let's go back to the board. So we could go with number 26, any offensive lineman. And who do we have available? Well, we got some good tackles. We've got Kingsley Suamatea. Yeah. We've got Jordan Morgan. We've got Patrick Paul. And then at guard, we've got Graham Barton, Christian Haynes, Cooper Beebe. At center, we've got JPJ. We've got Zach Frazier. Wow. Guys, good luck. This is going to be difficult. I almost wonder if we should narrow this down by position, whether it's tackle, guard, or center, because there are multiple excellent options with all three positions. All right, Rusty Spooner wants Graham Barton. So we got Kingsley, we've got Morgan, we've got Paul, we've got Barton, we've got Haynes, we've got Beebe. Mahogany is still very good, but not a first-round pick in my estimation. At center, we've got JPJ, we've got Zach Frazier. I feel like at center, all we can talk about is JPJ if he's there. If there's any center we're getting, it's him. You know, it would be a shame that between Simpson, AVT, JPJ, and Tippmann, one would have to be on the bench, but it's a nice problem to have. Rusty wants Barton because of the versatility. Okay. All right, guys. I'll give you about 30 seconds. If there's one of these players that you want, let me know. So any offensive lineman is who we can take with this pick. Yeah, guys, you can make your voices be heard. Your voice will be heard here. All right, JPJ seems to be getting the love here. All right. It's pretty close. Actually, it looks pretty even. Yeah, it looks like it's between JPJ and Barton. JPJ taking the lead. All right, getting close to midnight. All right, I'll give it about 10 seconds. All right. All right, guys. It looks like JPJ is going to be our first pick. So with pick 26 in the 2024. Actually, you know what? Pardon me. I got to do this the right way. I don't know if everybody heard it well enough. So let's jack that up a little bit higher. Thank you, StreamYard. You're great when you actually decide to work. All right, guys, it's going to be okay. I was about to select JPJ, but Nathan Colgrove with the late save for Graham Barton. Guys, all right. We need a tiebreaker here. I don't feel like it should be me. I gotta watch more Barton film, to be honest with you guys. I really do. Because I've been thinking of him as a guard, really, but some people are thinking tackle with him. So I'm gonna have to give a little more attention to Barton. All right, Hank says JPJ. All right, that's going to be the tiebreaker. JPJ, that is going to be our first pick, and Barton went immediately afterwards. All right, now we go down to pick 57 because we have a second round pick now, thanks to our trade. After this, we've got pick 72, but we need to go back to the wheel. All right, so last time we landed on offensive line. Now we're going to spin the wheel again, and let's see where we land. And we are going to spin this wheel in 3, 2, 1. And it's coming to a stop on any offensive player. All right, so what we need to do is pick any player who plays offense, regardless of the position, whether it's quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, or offensive line. We have to draft an offensive player here. Unfortunately, both Cooper Beebe and Malachi Corley just went. Those would have been nice options. I don't think we're going to be going quarterback here, most likely. We can pick any running back that we would want at 57 if we want, with Benson and Brooks on the board. Yeah, they got Will Shipley rated a little higher than I like him. Wide receiver, there's some great options here between Xavier Leggett, Roman Wilson. We've got Pearsall, we've got Walker also. So this is looking very good. Tight end, Jatavion Sanders. He's probably the second best tight end in this class behind Brock Bowers, I would say. I would say it's probably him, Gerald Everett says. Yeah. All right. We'll take a look at tackle as well. I'm not going to look at center anymore unless we have to. So Patrick Paul was still an option. So was Roger Rosengarten. Both Beebe and Haynes are gone, but Christian Mahogany is on the board. All right. So I think we could go with Mahogany. We could go Patrick Paul. But I think we're really leaning towards Xavier. I think we're leaning towards the receivers. So I think between Xavier or Roman, I think those are going to be, it's going to be one of the two. Yeah, personally, I think I would probably go Leggett myself, just to pull this up. Yeah, 9.89 RAS, 6'1", 221 pounds. Dense, compact, supersized core. I know, I think a lot of us, if you got like a 40-inch waist, wouldn't that technically be a supersized core? Rare mass, that could also qualify. Supersized core, you got your gut out to here. That's the supersized core, last I checked. Oh, gosh. All right. Yep, grain blind spot awareness, elite explosive threat, size speed anomaly who can teleport upfield through creases. I like a teleporting wide receiver myself. Harlan likes Roman Wilson. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. 5'10", 185. Yes, a little bit more of an inside player, but, you have to put him in the right spots. But it could work. All right, right now I think Xavier is in the lead here. I'll give it just a little bit more time. Yep, another vote for Leggett. Yeah, Malachi Corley going 56. Yeah. Didn't want to do that. Trying to click. There. Okay. So Jalen McMillan and Jalen Polk went very early in this. Wow. Devondre Swift pretty early. Lamb McConkey went at 44. Christian Haynes went 39. Wow. And the Patriots took Michael Penix with the second pick in the second round. All right. All right, guys. I think this poll is pretty much in the bag. It is going to be Xavier Leggett. I'll tell you what, for a random draft, I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to jinx anything. Okay, so let's click off of that. I'll pull the big board back up. And now you know where we got to go. We got to spin the wheel. Let's max the wheel out. And let's see what the wheel is going to have us do in 3, 2, 1. Quick thanks, everybody, for hanging out with me tonight, guys. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you all the way, for sure. All right, we got to pick a quarterback. We got to pick our quarterback of the future. 72 might be a little early, but not the worst idea in the world. So really what this is going to come down to, I'd say, is either Spencer Rattler or Michael Pratt. Yeah, David D., there is somebody named Kool-Aid, and there's also a cornerback with the last name of Tampa. Yep. Kool-Aid McKinstry. Kool-Aid McKinstry, TJ Tampa, Kool McKinstry. All right, guys, so it's got to be Rattler or it's got to be Pratt. That's where we have to go. It might be like one round early, but again, if it's a quarterback you like, if you believe in him that much, then you take him. Because we got two players who can impact the team immediately with our first two picks. Yeah. Some people like Rattler a lot. I know Dom C is a big Rattler guy. I'm not. I agree with Dom on a lot of stuff. But yeah, Rattler is one player where we part company. Dano wants to go with Jordan Travis. All right. Yeah, Travis is fine. Not a bad option. Yeah, Dane, you know what? I've seen crazier than that. I'm not going to call you crazy, man. Not going to do that. All right. Right now, I think Pratt is in the lead. Yeah. Yeah. I got to tell you, I mean, I just like Pratt more than I like Rattler. I think he's more fundamentally sound. Rattler might have the higher upside. I will say that. But with Pratt, I feel like he's the safer, more reliable pick. Both the thing for Rattler. 4.01 RAS. Okay. Oh, yeah. He was on the Netflix series. Yeah. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, mysterious eligibility late in the season for violating the district code of conduct. Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's like he transferred for South Carolina, and his performance hasn't been as good as it was in Oklahoma. That's a problem. Dane says Rattler to a snake-bitten franchise probably isn't the move. I see what you did there. Okay, I think we're going to go with Michael Pratt on this one. I think it's just, yeah, I think we're pretty much in agreement. All right, so now we're going to go to pick 111. And notice, yep, Rattler just went about pick 102 or 103. All right, let's click off there. Pull up the big board. Ooh, we get a defensive pick. Here's my guy, Dwayne Carter, right there. But it's not about what I want. It's not even about what we want. It's about what the wheel makes us do. All right, here we go. Let's spin the wheel in 3, 2, 1. And it's going to come to a stop on Chad's choice. Okay, so this is completely up to you. This is basically a free space. This is free reign. You guys can go anywhere you want with this pick, or you could trade it. And reminder, so far we've taken 3 offensive players. We've taken JPJ at center, Xavier Leggett at receiver, Michael Pratt at quarterback. All right. I am going to look at the trade offers, and we have one. So the Saints want us to trade down 39 picks, 111 and Mr. Irrelevant for 150, 168, 170, and 175. If we do that, we'll be here till 2 in the freaking morning, guys. All right. Is anybody actually interested in this trade, by the way? Does anybody actually want to do this and be here all night? All right. Not going to look there. Okay. Assist wants to get some more offensive line help. Rusty wants to go offensive line or safety. Hank wants to go defensive tackle. All right. Well, let's look at some positions where we can use some help. We definitely could use a running back, and there's a lot of good ones left to get. A lot of good ones. You know, I like Estime. Lobby's pretty good. We've already gone on about Jalen Wright. Wide receiver, you got some good options. You know, we could take Luke McCaffrey. Johnny Wilson is still there. Plenty of good ones to take. Tight end, to me, there's nobody there worth looking at. With offensive line, if you're looking at a tackle, we could take a Garrett Greenfield or a Christian Jones. I'm not. Blake Fisher is very polarizing. I don't love him. I don't love him. Scott Foster says do it, and he's in the minority. All right. David D wants to go running back. Oh, either Lobby or McCaffrey. Yeah, we just missed Brendan Rice, didn't we? Yeah. But you know what? We got Leggett. He'll more than fill that role. Couple of good guards there. Yeah, definitely some good guards with Coleman, McCormack, Zinter is still there. All right, let's go to defense. You know, I'm a Dwayne Carter guy. Mekhi Wingo would also be a good pick. At edge, you've got Austin Booker. Jonah Ellis, that's not bad. Booker's a little small, but Ellis, yeah, I've heard some very, very good things about Jonah Ellis. That's one of the guys I'm planning on researching for next week. Scott Foster lives in California. That explains it. Got some linebackers here, but I doubt we're doing that. Cornerback, I doubt it. Safety, got some decent options, but they're running a little. Jaden Hicks would be a very good pick at safety. I do like Jaden Hicks a lot. 8.94 RAS, best prospect on Washington State. Well, okay, 6'3", 202. Okay, so he's 6'3", 202 pounds, but up here he's 6'1", 211. Make up your minds, guys. Plus athlete, closes in quickly on the ball in space, and as a blitzer, very aggressive, but he can overcommit. All right. More of a downhill player, has a mid-round grade entering the offseason. Hicks would not be bad, but I don't know if safety is where we really want to go, but it's not bad. All right, guys, I'm going to put the position here first. So we could go safety, we could go defensive tackle, we could go, I don't know about wide receiver. We could go offensive line, or we could go skill position. All right. So I'll put the options in there. I can't narrow it down. I can't just narrow it down. Chat's choice. This is what happens, right? All right. Harlan wants to go defensive tackle. Scott is all about McCaffrey. Rusty Spooner says OL. Assist says PL. I'm assuming that meant OL. All right. We're a little bit divided on this one, guys. A little bit divided. All right. I'll pull up the big board. I know people like when the big board's up. So Dwayne Carter is the top-ranked player here. Johnny Wilson, I feel like he's redundant. Bucky Irving, Blake Fisher, Audric Estime. Mason Smith is good, but I like Mekhi Wingo a little more. Jaden Hicks as well. You meant OL. Okay, I got you, brother. I got you. Okay. It seems like we're leaning towards offensive line a little bit. All right, so if that's the case, we go Fisher. Greenfield's really rising. I don't know about round 4. You know what? I'm going to throw in. I'll throw in Greenfield. Fisher, Greenfield, Zinter, because we like Zinter, and I'll throw in. Is that it? All right, Zinter. I think I'm just going to do Zinter for guard. I want to focus it a little bit on tackle. Fisher, and I'm going to put in Garrett Greenfield. Yeah. I'm going to put Greenfield's thing. We talked about before, 8.62 RAS, 6'5", 311, South Dakota State. Jackrabbit. The rest of you like Glaze? Okay. I didn't love what I saw from Glaze. I had him kind of like outside my top like 15-ish. Like I had him below Greenfield, Foster, and Jones, for instance. So between Zinter, Fisher, and Garrett. So those are 3. So we'll go offensive line with this pick. Dano says, I know Johnny would want Zinter, so that'll be my vote. Okay. Boy, it is really raining outside. I can hear the rain like beating on the windows right now, guys. It is raining. All right, guys. Anybody else have a vote? Put it down in there who you'd like us to draft. I'm seeing a little bit more leaning towards Zach Zinter. Hey, that's great. You know, hey, if Carter Warren's ready to be that third tackle, fantastic. I'm all for it. All right, looks like it's going to be Zach Zinter coming to the New York Jets with pick 111. Now let's go to pick 134, and let's go to the wheel. And we are going to spin the wheel in 3, 2, 1. And it's going to come to a stop on Chat's choice again. Wow, guys, you have the power tonight. Okay, pick 134. After this, it is pick 185, then 256, and 257. Guys, we're doing pretty well on this one right now. Hope I didn't jinx all this stuff, but all right, let's pull the big board up. And as a reminder, so far we drafted Jackson Powers Johnson, Xavier Leggett, Michael Pratt, and Zach Zinter. So it has been entirely offense focused. So I don't know if we're going to go offense. We might want to go with a running back. Of course, McCaffrey would be an option as well. I believe McCaffrey is on the board, right? Yep, Luke McCaffrey would be there for us if we want to do that. Assist says, let's see safety and D-line. Okay. Defensive tackle, Mekhi Wingo. I like him. Tyler Davis, very good run stopper. Jordan Jefferson, Keith Randolph, very good. Justin Aboigbe is going to be sort of an under the radar player, but I think he's more of an edge player than defensive tackle. I like Wingo, 807 RAS. That's pretty good. Davis is not there to rush the passer. He's there to stop the run, and he could do it very well. GVH wants offense all the way. All right, well, here's where we are with defensive tackle. Edge, Jonah Ellis still there. Muhammad Kamara there, too. We've talked about him. Safety, we've got a few. Tyke Smith, I had him when we did the top 15. He was right outside it. 5'10", 202, 7.32 RAS. Didn't quite have the speed and acceleration I wanted. Keaton Oladipo, I like him quite a bit. Evan Williams is a pretty good one also. All right, I see some love for Mekhi Wingo. All right. That would not be a bad idea. Yep, Mekhi Wingo is the highest rated player left on the entire board. I think we're going to leave out offensive line for a while now. So Wingo back to, so between Wingo, here are the players I'm going to put in. I'm going to put in Wingo, Luke, so that's Luke McCaffrey. Let's see. I'll put in Tyler Davis. You want a good, big, run-stuffing defensive lineman. And for a safety, I'm going to put in Oladapo. Yeah. Actually, let me check running back. You know what? Maybe, guys, I don't know. Maybe we should put in a running back in the spot. Yeah, I'll throw in a running back too. Let's do that. Let's put Jalen Wright back in. We loved him last time. Let's see how he works here. So I'm giving you 5 choices. So Mekhi, Wingo, Luke McCaffrey, Tyler Davis, Keaton Oladapo, or Jalen Wright. So you have defensive tackle, wide receiver, defensive tackle, safety, and running back. So let me know where you're leaning. And after this, we don't pick till 185. So we want to make this one count. All right, I see a vote from Luke McCaffrey. I see a couple of votes for Mekhi Wingo. Wow, looks like we're at a dead heat with McCaffrey and Wingo. Oh, Wingo takes the lead. A couple guys want to give a little bit of help to this defense. Yeah, we're very close to round 5, and we haven't given the defense any help yet. All right, guys, I'll give it 10 seconds. Arkansas, if you're out there, your vote is welcome too. All right, guys, I'm going to pick Mekhi Wingo. So we're going to add a defensive tackle into the fold. Going to really help that rotation out. And now we go to pick 185. Sorry, Scott. Oh, Garrett Greenfield just went. So did Tommy Eichenberg. Man, some good players went right in that little range there. Darius Henderson, not a bad pick either. All right, guys, back to the wheel we go. We've got 3 picks left as of now. So if we were to get the trade choice, we would respin because there are no trade offers. I know, Rusty, it's tied, but it was too late. All right, any offensive linemen? So back to the offensive line, we are going to go. Let's pull the lineup. Gave you all a countdown, guys. Come on, you can't hate on me for that. All right, let's get all the way to the bottom there. So far we've taken a center and a guard. So hopefully there is some tackle we have at least heard of once. Nathan Thomas from Louisiana. We talked about him. This is a pretty good pass blocking prospect. Hayden Wallace, 6'4", 314, 8.19. We'll take a look at guard and center. Dylan McMahon, very good developmental guard. Hunter Norzad, I've heard that name from Penn State. But, I mean, are we really drafting another center after drafting JPJ? Really? All right, guys. So I'm going to think either Wallace, Thomas, or Dylan. Right? Caden, Thomas, or Dylan. Nathan Colgrove wants to go with Davis. Davis. Well, Nathan, we got to go with offensive line. Yeah. Harlan says we need a tackle. Yeah, we do. I mean, yeah, right now our tackle depth is Warren and Mitchell. It's young, but it's very, very, very unproven. Rusty Spooner wants to go with Kane Wallace. I'm going to trust you on that one, man. Yeah, I don't know Kane Wallace as well. I'll put that on my list. I got like 4 or 5 guys here. I got to make sure I check out for next week or the week after. There goes Kane Wallace. He's got 3 offensive linemen that we drafted. This is pretty good. So now we go to picks 256 and 257. And there we go. Oh, Johnny Jimenez. Oh, Anthony Gold, your boy was drafted at pick 254. But he was drafted. Okay, let's go back to the wheel. The wheel. And we are going to spin it in 3, 2, 1. And we have landed on any offensive player. All right, so not a bad place to land here when you're in the 7th round. Okay. So let's see what we have drafted so far at offense. We drafted our center, a guard, and a tackle, plus a quarterback and a wide receiver. We could really stand to draft a running back here, in my opinion. So seeing who's available, I'm going to Cody Schrader from Missouri is a favorite of mine. Jason McClellan's pretty good, I think. 5'10", 221. Okay. Rusty Spooner wants Carson Steele. I think, wasn't Steele drafted? I think, yeah, Steele's gone. Frank Gore is there if anybody does want to go with the brand name. Kamani Vidal from Troy. I've heard some decent things. 5'7", 213, 8.81. Dylan Johnson, I'm not a big fan of his, really, to be honest with you. All right. Let's see if there's a wide receiver any of us have heard of. I don't think so. Isaiah Williams from Illinois, I might have heard of him one. 5'9", 182, 6.23 RAS. I figured it out. Okay, and a quarterback. Yeah, we took Pratt, right? We did. I think we're gonna go running back, guys. Let's see. So Vidal, 5'7", 213. Yeah, not a fan of his. Jason McClellan, 5'10", 221. Very well ranked, very well thought of. Schrader is a little more not a bad. He doesn't have a good RAS, but I do like him. Being honest. All right. I'll leave Schrader aside here. Kendall Milton from Georgia, 6'1", 225. Impressive frame, surprising foot speed, burst at first level, decisive runner who can manipulate first and second level defenders. So smart and talented. I like that. Ali, I know, is pretty good, but I know he had an injury that he was dealing with the Senior Bowl. Rusty wants to go with Jace. Okay. So between Vidal, Jace, or Milton. Anybody have a thought on that? Nathan Colgrove wants to go with Vidal. Okay. I think Vidal Sassoon, that really old shampoo from like the 80s, 90s. Vidal doesn't sound bad. Yeah, Vidal, Jace, I'm good with either one of those two, I think. Yeah. Wait. 2,073 yards his junior season while scoring 47 touchdowns. He had 47 touchdowns in the season? Was that in high school? Because he mentions his high school career. Because if you scored 47 touchdowns in college, I think we would know about it, right? 47 touchdowns. All right. All right, guys, we're getting to the end here. Anybody else have a vote on the running back to take here? All right. All right. Don't get anything else. I'm going to take Vidal just because he's rated higher. So give it 10 seconds. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. I think one thing is that I'm a little bit, I think when I speak, it's a little bit ahead of the chat by about 10 seconds. So that's why I just want to give it a moment. Nathan, Ali, I think, is injured. I'm pretty sure he's hurt. I'm going to pull this up here on screen. Kansas City to host him. Yeah, he's expected to be cleared in July, so he's not ready to play just yet. Now, if he's going to get cleared in July, that's fine. Ruptured biceps tendon. Okay, so it's a it's a bicep. That's not a big deal. Yeah, I mean, Ali, I guess, is worth considering. Scott, the Dylan Johnson, I don't love him. 5'11", 5.74. All right. We got to make a pick here, guys. Man, we've been on 2.5 hours. This one's going really late. All right. Dylan Johnson, Ali, Adele, Jace. It's like we got 4 guys with 1 vote, with 1 vote each. That's pretty much where we are. Guys, do I love anybody here? No, not really. Not really. I mean, we looked up a lot of running backs, but this is the point where we pretty much stopped looking. So, Rusty, you know what? Rusty, I'll tell you what. I've gone against your pick a couple of times, so I'm going to go with you on this one. I'm going to take Jace McClellan. Oh, that was too. I thought you wanted me to look at Dylan Johnson. I didn't think that was a vote. But you know what? I feel like I should do Rusty a solid because I've kind of been I gone against him a few times. All right, guys, it's getting late. 1 spin left. Last spin of the night. Second to last spin of the night because I'm willing to bet we don't have a trade offer on the table for pick 257. We do not indeed. All right, so we're going to respin. Coin flip it. Yeah, right. And it's going to be a cornerback. All right. So let's get out of that. We got to pick a corner. To be honest with you, don't really know these level of corners very well at this point. Jaquan Shepard, 6'1", 201. Mike Abraham is a complete mystery. He doesn't have measurables. Marcellus Dial, Al Blades Jr. Great sounding name. He's really good at the cut blocks, I hear. Oh, maybe I do like Rashad Williams from Texas Tech. I do like him. Yeah, 6'2", 204 pounds, allowed 25 of 54 targets to be completed in 2022. Length and ability to ride in the receiver's hip pockets are positives. Great physicality, surprising quickness for size and coverage. Needs to improve as a run defender. All right. Not effective at taking quality angles or finishing in space. Find the right balance between being a playmaker, getting grabby, as he has 1 career interception, but he's very good at coverage. Or we could just take Storm Duck from Louisville. Yeah, in relation to Benny Blades, maybe Brian Blades. I don't know. Blades of Steel. I don't know. I feel like there isn't anybody to. I feel like we should just take Storm Duck, right? Let's do it. Guys, I got to tell you, for a completely random draft, I think we did really, really well. Yeah, maybe we didn't do as much with the defense as we would like, but look at that. We got the best center in the draft. I think a top 5 to 6 receiver in the draft. A very good developmental quarterback. One of the better guards you're going to find. Good defensive tackle. And a couple of developmental pieces at offensive tackle, running back, and quarterback. Plus, we got a first-round pick from Tampa Bay next year, which would likely be in about the 15 to 19 range. Yeah, I got to say, it went a lot better than it did before. All right, so let's do this. Okay. Let's go back here and stop sharing, and I'm going to pull myself back up. Wow. Guys, when I got to say, that went so well. You know what, how I'm feeling right now? You know what I feel like? Let's play. Yeah, that was the winning game emoji because I feel like we really won that draft. I thought we did very, very, very well. So, hey, who knows how we'll do the next time we spin. But guys, this was a lot of fun. Gosh, we went 2.5 solid hours tonight. Your guys got to get some sleep for sure. So I'll say one or two things before we go. My MLB preview is now up. It's about 28 minutes long. Mets season preview, it's about 28 minutes long as well. That's up to preview is actually about 25 minutes, really. It's a little bit shorter, but I will be in North Carolina this weekend for Easter weekend. For anybody else who celebrates, happy Easter to all of us. And yeah, if anything comes up, I will definitely do some recording, and I'll keep you guys on what's coming up with the channel. And one other thing, we may live stream some more stuff over the next few weeks. We live streamed the Islanders versus Devils game this past weekend, and people really seem to like it. So I might do that again in the future, particularly when it's one of my teams that is not involved. I'm a lot more open to that. Dano with the quick question. Yeah, let's go back to the comments. Wow, we had over 120 comments. Are we starting JPJ and making Titman the left guard? I think you have to. I mean, I would like to make AVT the left guard, but yeah, you're not drafting JPJ to sit him. You might have to put Simpson on the bench and apologize profusely to him. That's about all you can really do. Okay, guys. Yeah. The game was pretty fun. If you're a Devils fan, we had a few Islander fans weren't happy. They couldn't get a single goal. Nathan Colgrove gives it a grade of A-. Hey, I think that's pretty dang impressive. I do. Okay, I think what we'll do next week, we'll look at a few other sleepers. We'll look at maybe some different positions we haven't talked about yet. We haven't talked about cornerback, linebacker, edge rusher. I don't know if we're going to talk about tight end all that much because the class is just so weak in my mind. But I think we're going to look at maybe some defensive sleepers we could take with later picks. So for right now, I think that's what we're going to do. Eventually, I will rank every position, the position group in the draft from worst to best. And hey, you never know what's going to be coming. Guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Everybody, get some sleep. Have a great rest of your week. And I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker